You're listening to the We Are Libertarians Network. Learn more at wearelibertarians.com.
The Johnny Rocket Launchpad is liberty. Each week we strive to bring you the best guests in talk radio. The Johnny Rocket Launchpad delivers weekly interviews of noteworthy politicians, experts, and activists. The Johnny Rocket Launchpad is bringing the party to the Libertarian Party and launching ideas in your direction. Check us out at johnnyrocketlaunchpad.com. You can hear me, Kurt Nelson, and the beautiful Heather Nixon talk about the ideas of liberty. Rock and roll.
Hey there, Liberty lovers. This is Mark Claire of the Lions of Liberty podcast, where we strive to bring you great conversations about the ideas of liberty 3 days a week, every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Check us out at lionsofliberty.com.
Hey guys, this is Roger Paxton, and if you're fed up with the government running every single aspect of your life, but you're not listening to the Lava Flow podcast yet, then what's wrong with you? Check us out at thelavaflow.com, or just go back to sucking up to the government. The Lava Flow Podcast, striking the root every single episode.
We are supported by listeners like you. Donate per month or make a one-time donation through PayPal or Patreon at wearelibertarians.com. Welcome to We Are Libertarians. I am your host, Chris Spangle. We Are Libertarians brings you all of the irreverence modern politics deserves. We explain to you what the hell is happening in our world today and how we can fix it by thinking differently. This is a podcast brought to you by the We Are Libertarians Network, so please be sure to rate and review us on iTunes, like us on Facebook, share this episode with friends, and support us through PayPal or Patreon at wearelibertarians.com. We are supported by listeners like you, so $1 per episode by pledging $5 a month helps us grow. We are always taking your questions and comments via email at editor@wearelibertarians. Joining me, as always, to my left this time is Greg Lenz. Greg, how are you doing?
Doing wonderful, brother. How are you today?
I'm having another week.
I feel like there might be an Aunt Donna moment in the wings.
I left work a little early today because I hadn't been to the gym all week, and so I got pumped up on pre-workout. I got real high on some caffeine and pre-workout, and I put in a good 2-hour workout, and I don't know if I'm tired yet or if I'm on edge, but I'm so full of tea right now, it's not even funny. I'm yelling at everybody.
Well, that's all right. We'll let it ride, because I did play a dirty trick on you.
You did, and we have... Okay. Turnabout is fair play. You've shown up, and Bittner has been here, and really, I pranked myself. You played yourself. In the words.
And let's be honest, Bittner is always worse than literally anything I could do to you.
That is true. Other than Bittner plus Hannah Cook.
That's a fair point, too.
And so, one of our guests, Hannah Lee.
Hello.
What are we calling you? What's your last name? What do you want to be called?
My last name's Weber. Right. Hannah Weber.
Hannah Weber 96?
Yeah. Hannah Weber 96, and she's with us today. And so she was lost, but it's not her fault. She's from the country.
Yeah,
like the deep woods, right?
Yeah, it's pretty thick.
Okay,
it's basically Appalachia.
Right.
Basically.
She basically is fluent in the mandolin. She drove a combine here.
Mm-hmm.
Terrible gas mileage, but
worth it.
The street cred.
Like, it literally makes Bucktown look like Carmel.
Right.
I guess. Never been to Bucktown, but...
Mouthiest broad in our entire network. And we turn on the microphones, and she's like, I guess. Yeah.
Hi, guys.
There's just a lot of testosterone in this room right now.
Yeah, and you've got all of it.
Yeah.
So. The only time Miranda was here the other night, and you want to talk about high tea in a woman. Good Lord. If you haven't listened to Miranda's World, this last episode about Farmer Tim, have any of you guys heard it yet?
No.
It is unreal. It is 50 minutes of just pure shit show. It's amazing.
I can't get enough Miranda just stream of consciousness on a run.
It is something else, let me tell you. And so yeah, I'm waiting for Hannah to pull up in the John Deere. And is that what you call it down there? The
International Harvester.
It would be an international.
Okay. And what do I see pull up is a truck older than everybody in this room put together. So yeah, just share your mic. No. Actually, you know what? You don't get a mic. Aaron Ewert is here, and he showed up to... No, do not let him talk. He has not apologized to us yet. No. Until he comes on and he apologizes for reporting you for bad memes
That's true. I got a 7-day ban because you said bundle of sticks in a screen to me in a text message, and I screenshotted it, and someone reported that.
Yes. Yeah. Someone, and I'm blaming you. So you need to. Would you like to apologize right now for being a report?
Not apologizing because I didn't do it.
Well, then you need to leave. So that's why you will not be getting a mic tonight. Even though you have been cold and distant, I had lunch with Jeff Vibert today, and I said, have you heard from Aaron at all? He's like, no, I think he's dead. And so he's
I invited him to KSR lunch like last week.
Right.
And he was with his twin girlfriend or whatever.
He big-timed you. Yeah.
Yeah, he's like, oh, I'm so busy.
That's a good Jeff Vibert impression.
It was a great impression. So Aaron is lurking in the background as usual, but the cast tonight is Greg, Hanna, and I. And then on the Skype, on the phone, well, Harry's in the background. Harry is a lurker, as always. Harry's hanging out in the back.
Yeah, I'm just sitting over here. I'm actually just trying to get my server updated right now.
Okay.
Dr. Price, as always.
Dr. Price. And on the phone, we have Brian Nichols. Brian, how are you doing?
Doing good. Thanks for having me on, guys. Really, it's an honor to join the We Are Libertarians cast all the way here from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
Now, all of you in the room, if you're on my Wi-Fi, please get off, so that way we can make it through. As Harry can attest, I have terrible Wi-Fi. So are you updating?
Super terrible.
I know. So we got to make sure we can hear Brian loud and clear. Brian, where do you live at?
Yeah, I'm out here in Philly. Basically, it's the communist capital of Pennsylvania. But we make it by.
Yeah, and so Brian is he's a political guy. He served on 5 campaigns, and he's the associate editor for the Libertarian Republic. Now, you guys went in hard on Gary Johnson this week. Have you followed any of that, Brian?
I've been watching from the wings, and it definitely caused quite a stir. But one thing that I do really like is that we're able to have a lot of different ideas bounce around, regardless if it's pro Gary Johnson, anti Gary Johnson, anti this, pro that. I mean, pretty does allow us to have a pretty open and honest discussion with each other and get the ideas out there in a different way. So it's definitely something that it's been quite an adventure over the past week.
That's a wonderfully diplomatic answer, Brian.
What can I say?
I'm impressed.
And so the Libertarian Republic is owned by Austin Peterson. Now, at the Libertarian Republic offices, are you allowed to enter the Pyramid of Pussy?
That I honestly cannot tell you from personal experience. So you'd have to ask him for that one.
Okay. Well, I've asked him for the key several times, and he just doesn't seem to get me back. So
maybe it's not a key. Maybe it's like one of those the optic scanners, maybe. I'm not sure.
Also in the room is our very first intern. Okay, so we put out the call for interns, and Ed has answered the call to be our intern. Ed, how are you doing today?
Just fine.
Now, Ed is the oldest intern in the history of interns. Ed, how old are you?
52.
So it's kind of like that movie, The Intern, with Robert
De Niro was older.
Yeah.
And Anne Hathaway was better looking than you.
All right.
This is a great intern.
Well, things just got much harder for you, intern. Now, my working philosophy with interns is that all interns are dogs and shall be treated like dogs. You will learn a lot here, but I will be mean to you because that is how I was treated when I was an intern. So hazing must commence. Now, Ed, you're from Central Indiana here, and do you listen to the show?
Yes, I do.
How often do you listen?
Fairly reasonably. A couple times a week.
Oh, okay. All right, great. So he said he listens to everything, and how long have you listened?
About a year and a half.
Okay, so you get the vibe. You get the vibe that I'm a crazed dictator.
Yes.
Mandatory liberty.
Dear leader.
Right, exactly right. The only libertarian dictator that I might feed Greg to dogs. We don't know. We'll see how this episode goes.
There can only be one.
Right.
I watched it happen when you and Chairman Sarwalk had a stare down, and you out-alphaed him.
He looked at me and he said, "The party is yours," and I said, "No, I don't want it." And he took it back, and so I'm very generous.
You're the titular head.
Exactly right.
Much like Rush Limbaugh's the titular head of the Republican Party, you are the titular head of the Libertarian Party.
I was on a podcast about marketing yesterday called the Marketing Tech Podcast. and I was talking about podcasting, and they kept referring to me as Dear Leader.
That's it. Are those the two gentlemen you introduced me to today?
We're going
to get along fabulously.
Yes.
That couldn't have gone better.
So we're going to go and do our next episode at their headquarters downtown next Thursday, and you're going to love those guys.
Oh, I already do, but thanks for go ahead and saying, the way you introduced me to these two people I've never met before in chat today is you say, I've already explained how you are at parties. What a great introduction.
Well, let me explain how you are at parties, okay? So I was explaining the show, and I was explaining, my characters, that I'm Dear Leader. I'm the crazed dictator, and, Greg is the nerd. He is the backbone, the philosophical backbone of the show, but he also is highly offensive, and you're like toxic shock syndrome to women. They generally don't. They have a bad reaction to you. I remember being at a party, and this girl is the granddaughter of D.C. Stevenson. Look up the name. He was the head of the Klan in the 20s in Indiana. She looked at Greg like he was the worst human being alive, and she's.
She bears a striking resemblance to Dora the Explorer. Her name is Dara, and I kept asking her where her backpack was.
And she did.
Shockingly, that did not go over well.
So we have a party. Our great friend Caitlin Kopetsky, we all show up to this party. Some of us at a reasonable hour, others of us sloppy drunk at 1 a.m.
Dare you?
And so we show up to this party, and we're all hanging out, and Greg's over in one corner talking to somebody and talking about, what he talks about, which is like abortion and Syrian dead children and things like that. And they're talking about strobe lights, and you couldn't think of the word strobe light.
I had a brain fart, but had remembered reading an article that strobe lights, which I couldn't remember, trigger epileptics.
Right.
So I'm talking to Jeff Everett's girlfriend who works at the Autism Center, and I'm saying, do you ever use, those lights that trigger epileptics to mess with them and put them in cages?
One of the people there has an epileptic daughter.
Turns out they did. That didn't go over very well.
No.
So I got screamed at in the middle of a party.
And then
horribly.
And then after that, you moseyed on over to my table and started saying the word faggot.
Turns out that girl was gay.
Turns out the girl that I was hanging out with is gay. And then
I told her she's an actress and she has an Amazon web series coming out in the fall. And I told her that's like having a YouTube channel. The only good web series are on Netflix. And she just looked at me, jaw dropped. And it was her 30th birthday, and I guessed she was 40.
Right. And then you look at Jeff's lady friend.
Yeah.
We'll not say girlfriend, but we'll say lady friend. And she works at an autism center, and you say what?
I said a lot of things.
A lot of things. You asked about helmets. You asked if they drool a lot.
Yeah, if they drool a lot. If she keeps them in cages when they screech. It was. I had my A game. I had my fastball that night, and I was throwing heat.
You were the most offensive I've ever seen you, and you did pretty well. Brian, what did you say?
I said it sounds like Willowbrook. My lord.
Yeah, basically. I mean, I don't always have, that's like a great pitcher. You don't always have your best stuff some nights. But that night, at that particular moment, I was just howling it in there like Rick Vaughn in Major League.
Yeah. Intern, can you do me a favor?
Sure.
I won't say please because you're an intern. Can you get me a Nalgene bottle, a blue bottle of water out of the fridge, please? Sure. Would anybody else like anything?
I want a Busch Light.
I'll take one over here.
All right, we got some, and bring Aaron a Busch Light, please. Very good. Thank you, intern. The intern will be learning a lot with us. We're going to teach him multimedia production, but in the meantime, he's going to get me some water because I'm very thirsty.
And you aggressively hydrate.
I am aggressively hydrated. So yeah, it was rare for him. It was really something to see. And so I was just explaining to these guys who you are. And
so I appreciate that for setting it up that way. And then they decided it was going to be a competition to try to offend me.
Yes.
And so they're like, when we record with you next Thursday, we're going to try to do everything we can to offend you. And I just look at these two I've never met, and I was like, as long as you don't criticize Hitler, we're going to get along fine. Well, and they immediately just started in.
I have been around you too long because I went on their podcast and I was like, all these douches in marketing, and I said a that's what she said joke in the first 3 minutes. Like, here's this very reputable, serious marketing podcast with probably thousands of serious listeners, and I'm like, that's what she said.
You can't blame that on me. That's Bob and Tom comedy.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So yes. Now, Hannah, this is the first time Hannah has been here, and you have been up to no good over there. What are you giggling at?
Well, I happened to find this receipt from Jiffy Lube, and I'm incredibly disappointed.
Okay.
Okay, so apparently you paid, what, $138 for
I did.
these services, which include changing your oil. Okay, that's fair.
Okay.
Changing your oil filter, fair.
Right.
Then it gets concerning. Check wiper blades.
Sure.
You couldn't do that on your own?
One was like loose and coming off, and so every time I
kind of flappy at the end.
It was very flappy.
I get it.
It was hanging by a thread.
You're a job creator,
so you didn't know how to like take them off of there and put
I
new ones
do.
back on? Okay,
I just have other people do that for me.
Okay, vacuum floors can't do that either.
I can, but again, I'm
just
very
important.
important.
I was just wondering. Just antifreeze coolant overflow.
They check that for me. They do a full service over at Jiffy Lube.
They just said level okay. They said that's okay. It's cool. But did you read the comments?
No, what'd they say?
Please check your oil regularly. I'm not making that up. Let's see.
Had it been a while?
Washer sprayer lines disconnected prior to service. You know anything about that?
Yeah, the washing fluid hasn't been working. Was that so?
It's because their lines were disconnected.
Did they fix it?
Yeah, if the lines...
They reconnected it. Nothing was coming out.
Yeah, no, it wasn't. I haven't had...
the lines
I haven't had washer fluid in a good 3 months.
That's what the rain's for.
Okay.
Right, exactly.
Know anything about your transmission leak?
No.
I'm literally just reading this off this piece of paper.
No.
Okay, how about the engine oil leak that you
No.
have on your 2014 Chrysler?
An engine oil
You should
leak?
maybe get a Toyota.
Yeah, well give me that. I'm actually very concerned.
Yeah, you should
Can I
probably read
respond
it.
on your behalf? Because did you drive the FJ here today?
No, I didn't. I drove my Chevy.
Oh, why didn't you drive your Mini Cooper? Oh, that's because you forgot to ever change the oil, and so it's junk sitting in your parents'
It's
yard.
a project car.
You junked it because you never changed the oil.
It's a
True or
project.
false?
It's a project.
True or false? You
No,
never
I
changed
did
the oil.
That's not true. It's not true.
Why is it dead?
I can get you the documents.
Oh, can you?
Yeah.
Is it true or false? Is it sitting and it will not work in your parents' yard?
No.
What do you mean you have to put oil in the car?
It's
and
out
you're
of
over here
commission.
criticizing him?
Okay, so what had happened was I was single for a while, and I didn't have anyone that could help me change my oil on that car. It sits so low to the ground.
Patriarchy.
And my dad is like, he changes oil once a year, whether it needs it or not kind of guy. Like, he doesn't change his oil. So
this explains why you told me the other night that when, should anyone ever come to your home, it's kind of, you have to like navigate through the cars that sit in the front yard.
No,
Don't
we're
work.
kind of like running it's like a junkyard / used car lot. We have 3 broken down vehicles.
It's unintentional.
Well, obviously.
Usually junkyards are intentionally, they're there for a reason.
You live in the country.
The country.
The country.
America.
With those people. Well, I'm glad you noticed this because they didn't say a word about it. Like, you'd think, hey, by the way, you're leaking oil from your transmission and your engine.
Right, but they just gave it to you in writing, that's all.
Oh, yeah, but they didn't. You'd think they'd say, hey, FYI. But then all my levels are okay. Harry, what do you know about this?
It's a Mopar. It's going to die anyways. But because if it was a Toyota, it probably would keep going.
Exactly.
Was it leaking forever?
It wouldn't. It just wouldn't.
Yeah, but that Mopar, there's a lot of different maintenance that thing needs that you're probably not doing to it. So it's going to die anyway.
Like crushed.
Yeah.
Like when?
Yeah. Well, the thing is, like, a lot of people don't read like the fine print in their Mopar handbook that you're supposed to switch out its transmission fluid every year.
Every year?
Yeah, with special Mopar transmission fluid. You can't go to like get that ATF red crap. You got to get special Mopar fluid to put in there.
This is so annoying.
Yeah.
Why would they not tell you this when you buy the car?
Because then you wouldn't buy it.
Let's be honest. If you weren't being shamed about it on a podcast, it would have just been like,
I'm not being
I'll have
shamed.
it.
I'm concerned. Am I going to die?
No. Your car might.
Yeah, your car might.
Well, I don't need my car to die either. I bought this car to make it to at least 100,000 miles.
You can
bought the
always
wrong
fake.
kind of
You can
car.
always fake
Yeah, you
insurance
really-
fraud and push it off a cliff,
That is a good point. Not now that you've said that on the podcast.
or leave it in your front yard unattended to as a project car.
I hit a raccoon with my Mini Cooper, and the insurance paid for it.
I wish you
Nice.
wouldn't be racist.
Super thick. Ouch.
Harry,
I
are we
forgot
okay?
he was right there. I wasn't even
I
thinking.
know. I was right there. I was like, man, that's
All right,
sounds great.
so-
I like to go out there, but I don't want to get hit
50
by a Mini
points.
Cooper.
So tell me what I should do, Harry, because Harry, you know cars.
I really think you should get rid of that Mopar and get something else, like anything else.
Like a Subaru Outback.
Yeah, like a Subaru.
He's already got the lesbian
Yeah, you should
woman vibe
that's a black
going
car.
on.
You should go for like a Subaru Forester.
Subaru Forester.
Yeah.
No, that's the 300.
A Lesbaru.
Yeah, 200.
No, the 200 is a black car. The only people who've ever complimented me on the 200 are black.
That's fair.
Harry, do you like it?
No, I hate that car.
Well, but you're different.
I hate that. I got that car like for a rental, and I hated it the entire way up to LaPorte. I was,
Now,
like, just
Brian, what
cussing
kind of
it
car
out.
do you drive?
Got a good old refurbished Fire Police Chevy Impala 2007.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I like
Yeah,
it.
I'll take it.
Is it sitting on 22s?
I like it too.
Explain to me
What's that?
refurbished.
Is it sitting on 22s?
Can you evaluate on
Oh, yeah,
refurbished?
absolutely.
See, he lives in Philly. He's got cred.
I'm from like way upstate New York too. So like add that to whatever cred you want, and yeah, we have a party.
Do you ever go like bumping to Chronic 2001? Forgot about Dre.
Oh hell no, not in South Philly, no way.
Oh, you got at least mine.
Don't pretend that we can hear him. He's not talking on this podcast. Stay over there. We're not paying attention to him. All right, well, this is very concerning news. I need a new car.
All right,
apparently.
I'll look at it for you after
Please.
the podcast.
Oh, good.
Please.
Be another one in your junkyard.
Yep, no kidding. Well,
We
Harry,
don't have any Chryslers.
Harry, how long do I have?
Well, it's a Mopar, so it could go anytime.
Is this expensive to fix?
No,
Yeah.
but you probably don't want to.
A new transmission will be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
and
yeah, will
it has
be.
an engine oil leak.
Yeah.
Yeah, is that normal?
No.
Nope.
That's the
No.
worst.
No. Like
What keeps the engine actually, like the pistons firing, the lubricant is slowly leaving
Sure.
Yeah. It's
I get that.
at all times.
No, just ask my Mini Cooper. Not good.
Yeah, when you don't change it ever.
It's not true.
Fake news.
Fake
I got
news.
6 quarts of
Ye-
KY in the Thunderbird.
All right. Aaron, you can't talk. You don't have a microphone. What are you doing?
You're not going to stop me.
No, I know we're not going to stop you. That's why you weren't invited.
Yeah.
I'm very stressed out now. This is very irritating to me.
Makes you feel any better. I've got to do the valve cover gasket in the Subaru, which is going to be incredibly hard.
Yeah. No, it
It's a
doesn't make
flat
me feel
motor.
better,
It's a
'cause
flat motor.
That's right. That's right. I forgot about that.
Did you get a YouTube tutorial to figure that out?
Ha ha ha.
Yeah, get it
ha.
up there. Make sure you prop it up.
Hannah and Harry have beef. Harry has beef with a lot of people, but
Any woman we've ever had on the show, Harry has beef with, and I'm not kidding.
yeah,
I don't have beef with Chloe.
A chip on his shoulder.
Yeah.
Some might call it a chip beef.
nobody can hear you. They can't hear you
Enough
talking.
with the dad jokes.
Hannah's
Greg,
just mad
you need to
because
handle
like,
this.
of all the different
This is your
BMW
fault.
motors I've rebuilt.
You
It's
can
about
tell how
Ultimate Drive
upset
All
I am
the
right
sending
now.
units you've replaced.
You've made me sit for hours on end with
You know
Bittner.
it's true.
Hours.
I just
I
found out.
had to sit there and listen to his terrible ideas for hours on end and his wrong opinions.
I have just found out that I have to buy a new car, and I don't have money or a credit
No,
score for
that's
such
not
things.
really what I said.
Swear to God, you've got minimum 18 months.
We've thrown enough Lucas oil in that
That's
car.
the prognosis
just
we're
to
giving
get it
him.
sold and buy
18
you something
months.
else.
Okay.
What do you think?
I think if you would have just taken care of it in the first place, you wouldn't be in this predicament.
That's not helpful.
That's not helpful.
I think you should sell it on Craigslist, and you should let us make the Craigslist ad. I'm good at this.
You're not helping.
Yeah, she is.
I'm helping. I'm helping.
No, but you're great at Craigslist ads.
I'm great.
She's
Yeah.
selling herself on Craigslist right now. Harry, you're my expert in everything, especially technical things. What should I do?
Fill it up with enough Lucas oil in every pour and then sell the car. This way it
He
won't
doesn't
leak.
know what that means.
So I can't go to the Chrysler dealership and get this fixed.
Definitely do not go to the Chrysler
No.
dealership
Why not?
because the dealership will take all of your money.
Okay.
If you're lucky, just money.
The service people are paid on how much they can get you to pay for service.
Oh, so what if I go to a mechanic?
They would probably. I mean, it honestly. Let it ride for a little bit. Don't let it concern you for right now.
Oh, that's not going to
Do
happen.
you have AAA?
No.
How about Uber?
Yes.
Okay.
He is an Uber.
Then if you break down, you can just Uber back to your apartment and then call me and tell me how right I was about putting it on Craigslist.
Can you take care of this, please?
Yes.
Okay.
You should really just go back to befriending Aaron. Just wait. If you need a tow, you can just call Aaron.
All right, listeners, I'm not getting any answers from these people that I can trust or verify. I am getting jokes. I need an answer on what is happening here. So please, editor@wearelibertarians.com. This is very concerning, and none of you are helping me. I'm very mad right now. Aaron, you know cars.
Just get that truck. Get the truck that Trump was driving today.
Yes.
Great.
Thank you. See, Brian is the voice of reason.
Right.
But my truck's a Mopar that I'll be towing you with. It's a Mopar.
Yeah, so you know cars. What should I do? Can I get this fixed? Am I fucked?
No, I mean, everything's fixable.
Come on up to the mic.
AutoZone has stuff you can just dump in the valve cover and it seals it.
Harry's laughing because Harry would never do that to his automobile, but that is actually completely true because that's your other option is to use the chemical gunk that actually seals it where the leaks are. And it's going to be all right, I promise. Remember that business meeting where everyone was telling you to spend like thousands of dollars on the totally unnecessary stuff?
Right.
I'm telling you the same thing right now.
Okay.
It isn't a worry right now.
Yeah, but I don't want
I remind it. You're fine for like 18 months.
I would lose sleep, but that's just me.
Yeah, well, I'm going to because...
If I wasn't wearing my youth pastor shirt,
the mic.
I'd crawl right under there for you right now.
Thank
with
you.
my flashlight.
You are wearing a youth
I've got
pastor shirt.
I've got my Tyvek suit that I use to inspect crawl spaces. I can put it on and crawl under there and do like a live report on Spangle's car.
Ed, do you know anything about cars? You look like the kind of guy that knows cars.
Enough to be dangerous.
All right. Am I fucked?
Eventually, yes.
He's got life.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
engine
some
and
time.
transmission.
Yeah.
That's
I know.
what's wrong.
Transmission is a little more worrisome.
You need both of those things.
I know I do.
We need you to call Car Talk. Are those guys dead? Are they alive?
Yes, they're dead.
Okay.
Both of them.
Oh,
Click
wow.
and clack.
All right.
Maybe we should libertarian it up a little bit to get you off this, get you off out of your stressful
Let's
zone.
Yes, let's take a moment first. Let's talk about our sponsors. All right, we need sponsors now more than ever before, okay? More than ever before we need sponsorship because apparently I am fucked. We need you to listen. So this is episode 201. All right, we have never in our life taken sponsorships other than from Jason Stapleton, who's a friend. But we're at a point in our growth where we're starting to pour money into this because we want to make this a business. And to do that, we need to do a lot of things, and one of those is take advertising. And we're only going to take people that we like, and we're only going to take people that actually understand the show and like the show. And the first person, Aaron Harden, got a hold of me and said, "Hey, I'd love to buy sponsorship." And he owns a hop farm. And I said, "Aaron, now listen, you understand that the amount of people who are beer brewers and you're a hop farmer that listen to a libertarian podcast." He's like, "Listen, I just love the show. I love your audience. I want to support you guys, and I want people to know about us. And when we eventually open our wedding barn, I want you guys to come and support us." So 812 Farms, located in Columbus, Indiana, is supplying home brewers and commercial breweries with locally grown hops here in central Indiana. So we want you guys to look up 812 Farms and get acquainted with them and support them. In the process of getting a destination brewery started in Bartholomew County, which is about 30 minutes south of Indianapolis. They're using Indiana-grown ingredients, and they want a brew pub that honors the farmers from Indiana. So they plan to include a wedding barn, an event center, and restaurant, and brewery, indoor hydroponics, a vegetable garden, and overnight lodging eventually. And for now, they do hop sales and beer infusion events with bars. And they also have a beer that if you're in Indianapolis, you can go to the tap on Mass Ave, and it's called Permafrost and India Pale Ale. So we want to thank 812 Farms for joining us as an advertiser here on the show. And we can't thank them enough for supporting the podcast. And we were able to use the money from this sponsorship to send equipment to Maya and everybody out in Denver, Colorado. So we're starting a new podcast. We got some video equipment. And I'm returning all that right now so I can go fix my car. So
I'm going to need that back.
Yeah. Our second sponsor is Liberty Valiance. Zach and Zach knows the show, okay? He knows that I can't pronounce names. and I always get them wrong. So he included a name, Zach Haval. Okay, I think I got it. I think I got it right. So he has a podcast, a libertarian podcast, that we want you guys to go check out. Imagine if Louder with Crowder and the Jason Stapleton program had a kid. That kid would be Liberty Valiance with Zach Haval, the millennial voice of the Liberty Movement, where they explore current events using basic libertarian principles of limited government, individualism, and free markets through the use of comically bad impressions and sketches. So check him out on iTunes, SoundCloud, Stitcher, or LibertyValiance.com. You guys are going to obviously love that show if you like this show. So I want to thank those guys for sponsoring the show. We want you to support our advertisers as they support us and help us grow. So thank you guys for those sponsorships. Let's first take a quick question, and we'll do this quickly. But for our Dear Leader segment, we have got a letter from let's skip the Dear Leader segment actually, because we got to get to Obamacare. We got to break this down. Hannah, did you read the excellent notes that Greg put together?
I did not. Was I supposed to?
Greg puts together these amazing show notes that help us understand what is going on in the world, and you've been invited on this program many, many, many times, and you've never come, and then you finally came, and you've done nothing but disappoint us so far.
I think I mentioned to you once before that, like, when I'm not doing homework for school, I don't want to do any more homework, and that includes reading this essay. It's 6 pages long, and it's not double spaced.
It's 11 pages long.
Oh, I just didn't even scroll to the bottom. And it's not double spaced.
I'm curious, when you say school, which school are you referring to?
The college that I go to.
Which college?
The Red Wolves?
The one that I'm pursuing my bachelor's degree.
In business, but it's not in the business school?
It's from IU.
Which IU school? Which IU?
It's the Red IU.
Which Red IU?
It's the one with the logo.
Oh, you mean that one that's almost in Ohio in Richmond?
Wait, I thought you were going to IUPUI.
I did go to IUPUI.
Oh, no.
No.
That's expensive.
What?
So what had happened was...
No, IU East. The Red Wolves.
Aaron, go sit over there. I'm not kidding. Go. No, you're distracting us and you're talking through the podcast. You have to stop. Do not make me get out my stick and beat you like one of Hannah's autistic kids.
Oh.
Sorry, was that not public knowledge?
No, it's fine, but now I have to explain.
How you didn't go to business school?
I went there. I was working full time.
I know. I'm joking and giving you a hard time because you didn't do the notes or preparation.
The people think I just ditched IUPUI as if I didn't want to graduate from IUPUI.
Well, I don't blame you because, a lot of people want to be Red Wolves.
God.
So
no, it turns out there isn't.
No, see, Greg, stop. The listeners didn't hear what he just said. They have no idea what he just said. Don't encourage this. Hit him when he talks. Ed, I need you to go sit over there, and every time he talks, punch him in the arm, okay? Thank you. So Obamacare has been a massive topic on the news, in Facebook chats, and everywhere else. The Republicans have full power. They have total control. And, Greg, it is so nice to see the Republicans repealing all of Obamacare. It's nice to see total control.
Brian, that sounded like you enjoyed that comment as well.
My heart breaks.
I just, the limited government Republicans, it's good when they finally do something right and they just repeal massive subsidies and taxes and regulations like Obamacare. That's what happened, right?
Technically, they haven't even had a vote on it.
Okay.
So they've had...
Tomorrow.
Have they actually set the vote?
Yeah, McCarthy told lawmakers that on Friday they're actually going to vote, no matter what the deals are that are negotiated. I guess Trump got pissed.
Yeah, I was going to say Trump has to be pissed because every day that goes by, he loses political capital and basically becomes a neutered president.
Exactly.
But yeah, so today was supposed to be the vote. He couldn't get the House. This is actually like the bill that nobody likes. Okay. So it sort of reminds me of when Bill Clinton was trying to pass welfare reform in the 90s. There was like it wasn't conservative enough for the more conservative members of the '94 revolution. It wasn't liberal enough for the liberal members, and so it reminds me of his triangulation strategy that he sort of pioneered in the second term of his presidency, and that is what Trump's running into, where basically the non-Freedom Caucus Republicans are on board and aren't breaking rank. The conservative Democrats, who are really sort of the Trump voter, in sort of his new electoral map, they're on board and supporting it. The liberals aren't. And actually, I shouldn't say that because a lot of Democrats aren't going to break rank, but this is something they would support if they value keeping their seat. And then the Freedom Caucus is just flat no. And the thing is, the difficult thing is the Freedom Caucus is opposing the most popular things about Obamacare that they're trying to maintain. Would you agree, Brian?
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
And is that sort of your read? I mean, you go ahead and chime in as well, because is that sort of your read on the situation?
Yeah, I mean, from what it comes down to, really, the main thing, and if you look at Justin Amash, he's been tweeting nonstop about this kind of stuff. God love him and Thomas Massey. But it looks like the main thing that they're really trying to focus on is avoiding the whole repealing the EHBs without making other substantial changes, which would actually make the bill worse. Because what happens is, with the bill in its current form, it would end up hurting the sickest people on the exchanges. So basically, the idea is that if you can eliminate the 10 categories of like what's considered the essential benefits, which would be like the maternity coverage, preventative care, and all the likes, yeah, that would drive down the cost of insurance and provide more choices. But the problem is that it would still leave in place the requirement that the insurers cover those with the pre-existing conditions. So that also creates a restriction charge more of a base on the health status, which is there's this theory that's been tossed around. It's called like community rating. So basically, in this marketplace, healthy people, they have the incentive to keep purchasing whatever the cheapest plan is possible, which makes sense because they know that if it comes down to it, they could always upgrade to the more comprehensive coverage plans, like if they ever get sicker, since those would be still community rated at a lower price. And then with that, insurers can reduce the number of the sicker people that are on their rolls by offering smaller and less inclusive coverage options.
Really, this is what sort of the biggest flaw of almost all of healthcare economics is based around is adverse selection. You know, they don't want to insure anybody that they have to spend money on. And so it sort of allows them, they got a giveaway under Obamacare. They were able to, hedge their risk by having those risk corridors that get bailed out if there are a lot of sick people. This sort of eliminates the guarantee profit they had built in under the existing program.
Exactly. And like if we can get it down to like basically one idea, it's that basically giving more choice to healthy individuals when it's community rated, where it's guaranteed, means that it's going to be worse coverage for those who are sicker. Right. And like that's just the main issue here with, I mean, we'll call it, Obamacare light, essentially, because that's what it is. Only it's removing that the individual mandate. That's the main thing.
Exactly, and now it does create tax incentives in order to sort of nudge you toward purchasing coverage, but it absolutely repeals the IRS penalty.
Right.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, healthcare, it's the damnedest thing in the world because it's really hard to even talk about it, in my opinion. One, it depends on what side of it you're on. If you're over 50, you all of a sudden feel like you're going to get screwed with your pants on. But it also means that because you're over 50, you usually have had more time in your life to acquire assets and to save up money, and you're also starting to spend more on your health care, but you also traditionally can afford it because you've had more time to acquire assets. Younger people under Obamacare were basically bearing the burden of underpriced premiums for the elderly. And this removes that. So now there's an incentive for people like, the under 35 crowd who really doesn't spend too much on healthcare on an annual basis. So for us, it's a great deal. But really, the only reason it's a great deal is because it's accurately priced at this point.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And so I've gotten a lot of flack from libertarians because it's one of those things that I always struggle with healthcare. It's one of those things where you are dealt a bad hand sometimes. Like, sometimes you just didn't get a good... Like, there are people who live their life in a way that they should have to spend money and pay for those bad decisions. There are also people who are born into this world who didn't get a good hand.
Sure.
And it has nothing to do with anything other than they just didn't win the genetic lottery. And to me, healthcare has always been something where I took a class in grad school for healthcare economics, and I always felt that there should almost be like a disability fund for those type. Like the disability fund we have should really cover people who just got a bad deal. Mm-hmm. Then we should decouple health insurance and then, known health existing issues you're going to have, because you shouldn't have insurance if you know you're going to need blood pressure medicine every month because you don't follow any of the wellness programs.
Right.
And so it is just such a complicated issue, because yes, if you live your life healthy, you shouldn't have to bear the burden of the cost of subsidizing someone else. But I am of the mindset that as a society, there are certain things we just decide we want collectively because it's not a matter of anything other than you got a bad deal.
Right.
And so we're willing to fund that through taxes, through like a general disability fund for those types of individuals.
And one thing too, Greg, that it's, I think this is the thing that people seem to forget, is that the whole idea of government helping those individuals who, like you said, were dealt a bad hand, it was meant for those individuals. What's happened is it's become so inflated over the past, you say, 60 years, we'll say, since really FDR.
Yeah.
So 80 years. That it's almost become, this entitlement mindset where the basic coverage has grown and grown and grown far beyond the scope of what was ever intended. So now you have people who they don't need to have the government handout for healthcare. They on their own could have the catastrophic coverage. Say the millennial generation, we can have the catastrophic coverage. It's the older generation who have grown up with this mindset of the entitlement that they've been paying into it, and now they want to see it come back in return. The problem is that now it's so overinflated that it won't exist without the millennials putting into it, and that's where we're having the issue today.
Right, and that's the other thing too, is it's a demographic bomb.
Exactly.
It's a demographic bomb because the baby boomers are the largest segment of the population.
Ugh.
And
did you guys see the Huffington Post article today about how all baby boomers are narcissists? No offense.
And I laughed every second of reading it.
Yeah. Nobody hates the baby boomers like Chris Spangle.
No,
nobody.
They've made our life miserable.
But then, you have people like Hanna who probably spend... How often do you go to the doctor?
I'd rather not say, but not very often.
Lots of testing.
Just for certain things.
You're 23? 22. So, like, you probably never go.
No.
Right? Like, you're sick right now, and I doubt you went to the doctor.
Not going.
Right. And, like, Harry, how often would you say you go?
I think I've gone once in a decade.
Right, and we're the same, 31?
Yeah.
Yeah, so, like, it's the same way. Like, I'll go if I have, like, pneumonia or, like, something. And, Brian, like, I don't know how old you are. I apologize, but I'm sure you're close to somewhere between 25 and 32.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's like you go when you need to go. And that's... very similar in that same kind of mindset. You don't go, if you have a cough, which unfortunately that's kind of been the mindset, like, oh, I have a cough, I need to go to the nurse. When you're growing up in school, that mentality carries on when you're in your 20s. You're like, oh, I don't feel good, I should go to the doctor. Where it could just be, sit at home on your ass, have some tea and relax, and you'll get better.
Right, exactly, and
which sounds harsh, but it's the reality.
It absolutely is, and it also, it's not. It sounds harsh, but it also does something else. Is if you look at the type of medical services and products that are offered, where there isn't a third party insurance that are paying for the cost, the prices plummet. Like LASIK, plastic surgery, all the ones that aren't third party issued end up actually, being in a competitive marketplace that drops the price. When it's third party, it'd be just like if we gave everyone in this room a voucher and said, go buy whatever car you want. It's how much you get is based upon how old you are and how much of an insurance risk you are. The people that had the least risk would get the highest voucher, and they would go out and buy a more expensive car, driving up the cost of the entire all aggregate spending within that car market. And that's the same thing with university. Any type of third-party payment system does nothing to control the cost curve. Like, everybody talks about single payer. The only reason that has any benefit in controlling the cost curve is because it isn't a market. They literally dictate pricing until there's a shortage of care, and then they have to up the amount of money that they'll pay to providers.
Yeah. Right. And the other thing is that also prevents other people to bring innovation to it with that third party. Because like when Walmart got into doing optometry, like the Walmart dropped the price on like getting eyeglasses and stuff like that. Just like when Walmart tries to get into trying to do a bank,
right? And now there are variation in service because you're not going to go to Walmart if you have like a rare disorder and go talk to the 3 a.m. nurse practitioner that's there and be like, I'm probably going to die, and she gives you Robitussin and is like, oh, here's a recommendation for a specialist.
Correct. Yeah.
But that's the nature of the beast. And I tell you, like I was when I was doing the research, I don't know if you guys felt like this, or Brian, or you in particular, but I felt it's so overwhelmed to even know where to start, because it's a turd that we're dealing with.
Absolutely.
Like, Obamacare is a turd. The one thing I do like is that it block grants Medicaid, because that puts sort of a hard cap on it, rather than, as it is now, where it's incentivized for states that, increase the amount of people that are on Medicaid. They get subsidized funds from the federal government until XYZ date. Then it's going to overwhelm state budgets. Like, it is going to, any state that ends up actually performing as they want them to will end up spending 60% of their general budget or general fund each year on Medicaid. And I think that's an absolute nightmare for anyone involved. And something I know that Governor Pence here in Indiana was desperately trying to avoid. But at the same time, you also have a lot of sick people who you're still spending money on anyway, and it ends up you run deficit financing and using any of your surplus funds as a state government in order to plug those holes. But it's going to continue going forward.
And one thing too, I mean, that this kind of goes a different direction, but people keep on talking about insurance coverage under Obamacare and then the new Republican version, as if you're better off if you have insurance coverage. It's not a matter of the coverage. It's a matter of actually getting seen by the doctor.
Yes.
And I'm not sure if you guys learned back that much, but he was talking about how I think it's his wife, she had some issue she thought it was a tooth issue. And he's like, no, go to the doctor. I want you to go to a neurologist and see what's going on, because this shouldn't, a toothache should make your entire, head hurt like it is right now. And they were able to get in that night at 6:00 versus, let's say you're in, Canada or Great Britain. Yeah, you're covered, but you might not get seen for 30 days. 3 months.
It's literally designed so that hopefully you die before they have to spend money on you. Like, I know in a lot of cases, especially the very rare type cases, which I'm not actually that against, because Mother Earth and population control. But ideally, this is America and we have freedom. So
it's like Dwight, we need a new plague.
Exactly. I'm not so against rationing care to people from Metamora, like Hannah's from.
Yeah.
We could do less with fewer Metamora people in this world.
Yeah, agreed.
Is that right?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay.
She was down.
I think I'm at the top of the heap there. So
are you a 1%er?
Honestly, she was down on the foam roller earlier, so yeah, she can stay. So you should have seen what we saw.
Literally, or I can't say that because your dad's going to listen.
But
go ahead.
If I may, Chris, really quick, one thing that it's so hard as libertarians or Republicans, conservatives to have the healthcare argument, because we don't approach it from the emotional standpoint. And that's where we instantly will always have a really hard time trying to appeal to the average everyday American, because the left is always going to be able to instill the emotional component to, oh, well, do you want to get sick? Oh, what about your mom and dad? Do you want to see them suffer? And we are coming at a logical standpoint saying, well, let's look at the cost. Let's look at how we can break this down to make it so it's more affordable. But
and they're sitting there saying, why do you want sick cancer kids to die? And you're like, wait,
exactly.
but wait. It's the damnedest thing to try to get through.
And that's the worst part.
Well, what are your favorite parts of the bill?
I mean, I think you really hit the nail on the head with the Medicaid.
That's me too.
That's going to be that's going to be the really biggest thing. And it's funny. Like I said, I'm originally from upstate New York, and I follow some of my congressmen up there on Twitter, and all their support that they've been promoting the bill on is entirely based on Medicaid. It has nothing to do with getting rid of the individual mandate. It has nothing to do with keeping the pre-existing conditions. It's solely focused on Medicaid. And I think that they're just trying to promote that, beating a dead horse to validate in their minds why it's okay that they're pushing it as hard as they are. I see local representatives up in my home districts that are like, oh, yeah, that's exactly what we want, because then we can have the ability to control the Medicaid. But that's pretty much, while that's a good part.
How do you feel about the more accurate pricing being reflected for age ratings?
I think that's it's definitely better than what we have now.
Right.
But again, the main thing it comes down to, I think, it really does go back to that community, the community rated environment. Like, that creates just this never ending cycle of almost like a detriment, damned if you are, or damned if you do, damned if you don't.
Yeah.
Because you'll end up having the coverage, but it doesn't matter if the coverage, because it's going to be worse coverage for those who end up getting sicker, regardless of their age, regardless of their pre-existing conditions. Because when it comes down to it, the health people, they're going to purchase the cheapest plan. So it doesn't matter what the value of the plan is that you have. If you are an older individual, it's going to be worse coverage or worse care regardless.
Right. Now, so that isn't necessarily a selling point for you, but like for you personally, you do gain.
Absolutely, yeah.
Like
as a younger, fit guy, like I would, definitely benefit from that. But at the same point in time, the problem is that if, let's say, 10 years down the road, I get in a horrible car accident. Well, normally an insurance company wouldn't look at me and say, "Oh, you're a great candidate for our insurance program." But if I'm in the community-rated system where they can't touch pre-existing conditions, I can move up on that plan with no additional costs to me as an individual. Yeah. So even if I could pay more, I don't have to. And that's the issue right there, is that
you're going to have really people gain the system in time of need.
Exactly. And that's I mean, I don't want to say crony capitalism, but that's cronyism only in the healthcare industry right here. Right.
Now, Harry, how do you, is there anything about the bill that you like? Because I know you are more of a true libertarian than I, a little L, like you're much more closer to the voluntarist than I am in reality. So I don't know how you feel about it, because you have a pregnant wife and you're getting ready to be a father. So this affects you quite a bit.
Yeah. There's really hardly anything in the bill that I do like. I feel like there's a lot of scare tactics that what happened in the Obamacare bill, and that this bill they'll just try to like the pre-existing condition thing that always try to scare people. But if you had health insurance when you were 16, you bought it when you were 18 instead of buying a new phone, you were covered in those. If any conditions you got, as long as you kept insurance, you never had a pre-existing condition. That never was a factor. That was just more for people who get a condition than just start trying to get health insurance at that point. But yeah, no, there's really nothing in this bill I do like, and I do understand what you're saying, because even my pregnant wife, she recently she was looking at changing her health insurance plan, and she straight up went to the lowest cost payment. I was like, well, I like this one. I'm like, listen, you're pregnant, you're gonna hit the doctor more and more this whole year, and then when Gunther is born,
girl or boy Gunther?
Girl, and when Gunther is born, she's going to be hitting the doctor. So you can't pick this low plan. You have to pick something that so you can hit.
So you preached individual responsibility to your pregnant wife after you infected her?
Yes.
Hannah, how do you feel? Are you under your parents still?
I am, yes.
Now, Brian, do you know, I didn't catch that. Is that still going to be a part of it where you can stay on if you're 26? Up to 26? I didn't see that anywhere.
Did we lose him?
Are you still there?
You know what? Sorry, Brian, start over. That was my fault. Go ahead.
Oh, no worries. The 20 under 26 under your parents' insurance, that's still going to be a thing. I
was going to say that's
because that would have been.
Yeah, isn't that such a low expense?
Huge kick in the nuts.
Right, yeah. So really it doesn't affect you at all.
I mean, I have to be honest, though. I have always had dental and vision under my parents until I was...
Have you?
Until I was 21, and I just turned 22, so now I'm kicked off. But for the last 4 years, I haven't even used it.
Yeah, so wait, you're not going to stay on your parents?
I'm going to, as long as that will let me.
Oh, okay.
But now I'm kicked off of vision and dental. Oh, okay. I can stay on health.
Well, yeah, that...
The little snaggletooth.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if it was meth mouth or what it was.
No, yeah. It's a little bit of both.
Wow. Totally kidding.
No, yeah.
Totally kidding.
Could you please stop crushing oxys while you're saying that?
No.
I'm totally joking.
No, yeah, I don't have snaggletooth teeth.
No, no, because you were going to be a dental hygienist.
Yeah, I actually have pretty solid teeth. Yeah. But no, I haven't even used it since in college. I don't even use it. So.
Yeah. So it's not a big deal to you?
Not a big deal at all.
So I guess I don't understand. So I'm the rare libertarian that supports this. And I was getting just completely shit upon today or last night by Jeremiah Morrill. Lion Jer was just tar and feathering me and then posting everything he possibly could think of to try to shame me. And I was like, listen, the thing for me is I try to take a historical look at it. And every time we've ever had an entitlement program, it has grown. It's never been repealed. The only one, under Bill Clinton, we were able to reform it from a guaranteed benefit under welfare to a time-limited benefit. And so I see any opportunity we actually get to even make the slightest change. Yes, Obamacare is arguably as bad of ways you could design a healthcare bill. This makes it slightly less shitty. And it like the biggest thing to me for Obamacare that's just a killer in the long run is the Medicaid. And so I'm a lot like your state representatives, Brian, in that alone and the more accurate change and reflection in pricing, because right now it's just pure cost shifting from young people to old people. And I don't know that there is going to be another opportunity to actually reform this. If it is not done, and it is not done now, I don't know that we get a second shot ever. Because that's where I am, and I'm going to be tarred and feathered by everybody. It's like, you're statist,
right.
all that. But, to me, when the opportunity presents itself to make Harry just did the autistic screeching symbol at each other. But, so for me, I look at it and say, we have very rarely had the opportunity to actually repeal elements of the welfare state, and this is a time when we do. We're going to do it, and a lot of the changes. It's a 3-phase plan, so it makes the assumption that come 2020, it's still a Republican House, Republican Senate, or Republican President, and that's very iffy.
Sure.
Which historically would not be correct either. Based upon just election outcomes following 3 parties controlling them all. But I do think that if they don't do it, it will be a 2018 tidal wave. That would be a left-wing version of the Tea Party.
Mm-hmm. Of the Tea Party.
And so at that point, it's off the table for good. Because then people will be used to Obamacare. They won't want it to be changed. It'll become, kind of phased in. And then we are looking at Obamacare, which is really just it's a way to turn the insurance companies into government-managed zombies that'll be single-payer for all intents and purposes.
Sure.
Yeah,
and if I may, really quick, Greg, I think, honestly, that a lot of the House Freedom Caucus, they're in your camp. They want to see it pass, but I think the main thing they want to see is with the essential health benefits, that being focused on where they make the substantial changes that would actually push the House Freedom Caucus to actually vote for this bill.
Right.
And that seems to me, that's the talking point from Mark Meadows, Justin Amash, Thomas Massey. Like, they're all out there saying, fix the essential health benefits issue that's taking place right now, and we'll probably vote for it because for them,
those are the most popular polling things.
Exactly, and that's the thing is, like, if they can make that work, I think you'd see most of the House Freedom Caucus jump on board and pass this, because, like you're saying, if it doesn't get passed, the pragmatic reality is that it won't get fixed in the future.
Right, and I think if they make the adjustments, Trump ends up reneging on his promise, and it's a tidal wave either way, because a lot of people are betting that he is going to still protect the poor in this plan. Or, that's how he positioned it while he campaigned. So if he reneges on that, then I think you're screwed electorally either way. And the people who are really like... To me, I love Thomas Massey, I love Rand Paul, I love all these guys, but they are grandstanding because their seats are safe and because they've made pledges to repeal it completely, and they know that if it isn't repealed now, then it isn't going to be repealed ever. But there is also, part of being a governing is taking opportunities when they're there and what is there to get. And I get it that they're actually using Trump's art of the deal negotiation tactics to try like literally Rand Paul did a presentation where he went
with the art of the deal
with the art of the deal on this, but which, God, he's the best damn troll in Washington, he really is, other than the president.
Exactly.
I don't know, this is something where I'm going to get crucified, but I'm used to that because hell, I supported Trump anyway. But I just think this is the time to repeal it when it's there, and if you don't and it passes, it's suicide at the midterms. If you do it and cave on the most popular parts, it's suicide. If you do it the way it is, you live to fight another day. And that's just sort of, I guess, the opinion I arrived at. How about anybody else? Hannah, how do you feel? Because I know you're a hardcore libertarian.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't read your thing, so...
Damn.
I didn't read your thing.
Let me get back to you on that.
Well, I wouldn't expect you to. You're a woman. You have a smaller brain.
Right. It's going to take... I have to still read with the index card, so with the phone, it made it a little harder,
You sure you're getting a degree?
The learning curves.
Do you go to the South Harmon Institute of Technology?
I do.
Are you a shit sandwich?
I do. University of shit.
This is really something.
Yeah.
You know how many people would love to come on this podcast? You know how many people would love to sit in this chair?
I just really don't want this lecture.
Ed is willing to be abused by me just for the opportunity to learn at our feet.
Mm-hmm.
What lecture?
This lecture where like I'm gonna make broad statements, but I'm really aiming them at you.
No, I'm aiming them right at you. I mean,
Truth bomb.
I thought it was very clear.
Yeah, no, I wasn't. We decided this last night, right? I said tomorrow, and you said yes, Thursday.
How do you feel about so in the bill right now, the way it's protected is that what is it? So right now, no taxpayer money would go, and not that this would ever be you, but for I'm sure you've had friends in this situation with abortion. Let's be honest, folks. She referred to her friends that she rides horses with as
what? Oh, we call ourselves the Tard Trade.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There have been some abortions.
TARD.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
We have T-shirts. I'll wear it next time.
Please do. Please do. But so the way it's written now, and I know you would agree, you don't want any taxpayer funding to go towards something where you might have a religious objection. But or not.
Are you pro-life or pro-choice?
Population control.
Pro-life or pro-choice?
Oh, I'm pro-choice.
All right, good. All
right, so
we
you're
can still
pro-choice,
date then.
but you don't think that it should be publicly funded.
Apparently
of course.
Apparently on a previous podcast I said I only dated pro-choice girls. I didn't remember.
Wow.
You did.
I didn't remember saying
you were
that.
on a heater, and you just you went there, and I was like,
all right.
I've never heard him say that, but I'm not even going to challenge him.
Yeah.
That would literally be opposed to everything he believes religiously and in his personal life, but whatever.
Oh.
So yeah, so it really this really just doesn't seem like healthcare, and obviously your health doesn't matter that much to you,
Yes, you can tell. Yeah. I mean,
because it's going to affect your life.
Yeah. Oh, I know.
I know you're young and invincible at 22, so we've all been there where you're oh, I'll never have any health issues ever, and then you fall and rupture 2 discs and have to do physical therapy, and it's damn, I'm not invincible.
I mean, I know I'm from rural America, but the public funding of abortion doesn't bother me as nearly as much as you might think it does.
What does any particular part of the healthcare bill bother you?
Well, yeah, I mean, obviously, I would rather have it all privatized, but
and pay for it yourself.
Yeah.
Unless you're on your parents until 26.
Right? Can we bump that up?
Yeah, right.
Is that an option?
Okay, yeah. So you're the perfect snowflake.
Right. And is there a rule where as long as you're living in the basement, you can be on the...
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll add that in as a clause. We'll add the basementarian clause to the healthcare reform. Yeah. Right. It'll be only the hackers that Trump referred to that also could have performed the Russian hacking, and then you.
Right.
Okay. Well, I mean, I get it because you're 22, so this is real life, and you're not at that point.
I mean, I completely agree with what you say about third party billing. I mean, obviously we get charged for they charge our insurance for things. Oh, right, exactly.
Yeah.
No, my mom called the hospital once to say, "Where's my stainless steel surgical tray?" I was charged for it.
Your mom went to the itemize?
Yeah.
Cheryl?
Yeah. And she said, Where's my tray? I mean, I got charged for the $70 for this tray. I didn't get to take it home.
Petty as fuck.
Gangster.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm totally with you there.
I see. Okay. Yeah. I get it. And I know it's, since you didn't prepare.
I didn't prepare.
And it's one of those things where you're going to coast till 26 on your parents.
Exactly. Call me in 4 years.
Yep. But I know, Aaron's had it, harder, literally, I know I'm not allowed to let him talk, but I'll speak on his behalf. But so, Aaron's got 2 sons. He works for a small business, and he's had to do it on his own. Yep. And it's not cheap for a family. It is, I would guarantee you're spending close to $1,500 a month. $1,475 each month out of his own pocket just to make sure that his own sons can get a bone repaired.
Don't have it, so I got the big tax.
Yeah, it was so expensive. He went ahead and took the penalty. I mean, because that was easy, that was cheaper. Yeah. And then should it come up, he'll do what Brian and I were talking about earlier. Get it when he absolutely needs it. Because that's one of the things that you'll still be able to take advantage of in this plan.
Yeah, just pretend like I don't have cancer for a few months and try to.
Well, this is the brilliant thing.
That's how that works out, Aaron.
Is if it weren't for super male vitality, honestly, a lot of America would be in serious trouble.
Let's heal Aaron right now.
Like Spangle's had legitimately every disease, and he's taken this perfect bill of health.
I'm actually putting this in the oil of my car.
That is a great idea. Can you imagine? It might change brands.
I'm
literally
putting super male vitality. It'll be a Jeep Grand Cherokee.
It will.
Or tomorrow. It'll
That's
be
not how you get a Hemi.
It won't even be a Jeep Grand Cherokee. It'll be. Come on, put it in your mouth. No, don't touch your mouth on it because I'm sick. But come on now.
Hold on. I need a second.
He wanted to make sure. Just do a double dose. It's all right. Oh,
get fully
wow.
woke.
So, Brian, where are we at? Trump is. I literally just got a message saying Trump is threatening Republicans pass this now. I mean, so in terms of the passage of this bill, like where are we at in the shenanigans? I mean, if you remember the reconciliation and the slaughter rule and all that stuff that went on, where are we at in terms of this bill?
You mean in terms of actually getting passed?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I asked. So I'm not sure if you guys follow Michael Cannon from the Cato Institute.
Yeah,
he's been tweeting. Yeah, he's been tweeting out that like Trump has been threatening to put money into primary opponents against individuals that are going to vote against it from the Freedom Caucus, which is just I think insane because some of these guys are like the most staunch libertarian freedom supporting representatives we have. So I'm not sure if that would be enough to push some of them to actually go ahead and change their vote towards yes. From what I'm gathering right now, I was reading when we were getting ready there in the beginning of the show brief, is that pretty much like they're ready to go ahead and vote on this tomorrow regardless. Trump said that he's going to move on, and if they don't pass the replacement bill, he's going to leave Obamacare in place and let it be what it is and watch it fail, and then use that as a means to basically destroy the careers of the Freedom Caucus who doesn't support it. I'm not sure I'm pronouncing his name. I'm like you, Chris. I can't pronounce names right. Mulvaney, he's a representative there from the Freedom Caucus. He basically said Trump's done negotiating, and he's going to have that vote done tomorrow regardless of what happens. So that's where we're at right now. And that's
Mick Mulvaney is the head of the budget. Used to work for Rand Paul. Yeah, head of the, I think, OEMB.
Yep, that's right.
Yeah, and he's as libertarian of budget directors we probably had since Mitch Daniels, really, but he has been someone who's had to get nasty for the first time in his career, and I've enjoyed watching someone from Rand's staff who's not usually like alpha, other I guess than the Southern Avenger, Jack. What's his name? Jack
Hunter.
Yeah, Jack Hunter. The luchador mask at the Confederate luchador mask. But it's been interesting to see. Trump's really picked an eclectic mix of people who've had interesting careers come up, and to see Mick Mulvaney, a guy who's very libertarian but also very wonkish and very nerdy, have to be this alpha negotiator in order to try to get this damn thing through. It's sort of a disconnect. I'm not going to lie. I feel like there have been some people who. There have been some people who are much like a Steve Bannon is a much better villain to go out and start threatening people's careers. But like a Reince Priebus is so beta. He doesn't, he just doesn't inspire fear in anybody. And the same with Mulvaney. And, Mike Pence is a guy who really operates in the shadows, a lot like Biden, filling a similar role that Biden did for Obama early on.
Until he comes out in a flash of lightning.
I'll tell you what, was not really ever a Mike Pence fan until the electrocute the gays thing. Mike, what is it? What's the meme? Mike, up the get the clamps and up the amps. Like, I can't believe
that's when you became a fan.
Well, I know that. No, I didn't mean it. But like the fact that so our buddy that works for him or used to work for him, he sees those. Those get forwarded to Mike Pence, and he laughs.
No.
You're kidding.
He I swear to God, he wants to see them. Like, he gets 5 of them, like, that he really likes, and the one is him where he is completely charged, and it says, repent.
That is an amazing
I know,
piece of
so, like,
info.
I didn't really care for him until I heard that, and I thought, he's a solid dude. If you can be that, like, joking about yourself, then you're the kind of guy I'd get along with him,
That's
all right.
funny.
Yeah, and plus, we tried it on Seth, and it didn't work.
We did. We tried to shock the gay out of Seth.
I bought some clamps. We tried it, and he just still, came after you.
Yeah, I know. Well, look at me.
High tea.
So much male vitality that night that he just couldn't stand it.
Brian, have you ever had your tea tested?
I haven't had my tea. Okay, I gotta tell you, like, completely honest, for the longest time I was listening to you guys, and I was like, is this, like, super male vitality thing a real thing? And then I Googled it, and I found it, and I was like, holy shit, people actually buy this. Because it wouldn't exist if people didn't buy it.
Absolutely.
So, well, you're probably like his number one customer. So, I mean, there you go. But no, I have not had my tea tested. Probably should. Yeah.
I mean, there's macaroon and other things in it that are like legitimate salvia. What are you doing over there?
Nothing.
She's like moving her tongue like a snake. All of a sudden,
she's woke as fuck.
She sees the male vitality. And she just starts getting all randy. But it's got stuff in it that's legitimate, and it fucked Bittner up. Like, Bittner, who hasn't had any carbs for months. He got you buzzed. Yeah. Are you buzzed right now?
So has Miranda taken it?
No, we haven't, because she would grow.
Dear God! Oh my God! Don't do that.
Are you a Miranda fan?
Oh my God! Yeah, she's hilarious.
She really is. She's fantastic.
Oh my God, she's phenomenal. She's so funny. I've only met one Miranda in my entire life, and I know that I'll never meet another.
You will never meet Miranda Barnett again.
Not like people named Miranda.
No, I know like a lot of Mirandas that are trashy, but they're all MIR.
Oh, Miranda's not trashy.
No, that's what I mean. Is she's like the first non-trashy Miranda I've ever met, but it's because she spells her name with an A.
Right.
It's true.
Yeah, and like every Hanna I've met who doesn't have the H at the end, so it's not a palindrome, is really trashy too.
Yeah.
Has a little odor issue, too.
Yeah.
Did you like palindrome? That's like a 600 S or 1600
Do you know what
SAT
palindrome
score.
means?
Word.
No. Continue.
Race car? Same, forward and backward?
Yeah. Like Hanna.
Math?
Like the wrong way of spelling Hanna.
Spelling? Words?
Yeah. Pronouns and verbs.
Race car.
Race car.
Yeah.
Trafalgar.
This is very...
Ragglefart, yes.
I'm sorry. I'm being hard on you, and I shouldn't be. You're our guest. I brought you Busch Light.
You did. I'm super thankful.
And you get to keep the rest.
Really?
That's all yours.
Oh, that's so nice. I don't know. Have we went through Busch Light lingo before?
We haven't.
So
she's from the country. She's just going to drunk drive home. Great.
Honestly, I've been out, 2 nights now, and I'm so impressed. She can go, and I can't tell. Like,
she drinks so much.
I'm a little bit German, yeah.
Like, I'm impressed. Like, I had no idea. You got a little bit more mouthy, but...
No. I think I just get more comfortable as I go on. I don't think it has anything to do with the alcohol.
Yeah.
John Weber's a legend. I want John on the show.
Yeah. I think, we're doing a Metamora field trip this summer.
Yeah.
If I can get my fucking car to make it out to Metamora.
Right, you might have to rent a car. But
no, we're doing a...
You could Uber.
We'll get a turd train.
So anyway, this is Busch Light, but it's also referred to as Busch Nasty. So if you were to buy just regular...
And water.
Busch. Yes. I don't need that kind of negativity in my life. Can we shut his mic off?
Yes.
Okay. So, wrong. Okay, you've got to go. He's got to go.
I know.
But
Kid's Ice House is better.
Again, mic off. Can we get it? Okay. Anyway, so and then if we were to just buy regular Busch, that's Busch Diesel.
Do you drink regular Busch? Because it was sitting right next to it, and I was like,
if
a little bit.
you can tell, I spend a lot of time working on my figure, so I like to stick with the Busch Light.
Gotcha.
I think it's, what is it, 90 calories? I think.
You think?
Uh-huh.
I think that's close.
If only they printed it on every can.
They don't.
They don't?
They actually do not.
No, I think it's on here.
That is one of the few times your lack of drinking has
it's 95.
Yeah.
It's 95 calories. It's 95 calories. It says it.
It's like the law. You have to put it on there.
It's like
4.1 alcohol.
Also, she has illegal tent. I'm just going to be honest.
Hey, now.
On your FJ?
Y'all don't say that.
On that diesel car.
It's a Toyota FJ.
No,
so like
it's not. No, we're talking about my Cruise. I have a diesel Cruise.
That's right. She does have. Yeah.
It's got illegal tent.
I didn't put the illegal tent on there.
But you kept it.
Yes, I did.
That won't matter to the police.
I have I have special eyes. I used to work in Florence, and I would drive east in the morning. What
happened?
The sun.
Yeah, what happened to your job in Florence?
It's still there. That job does still exist in Florence.
You just don't go anymore?
You ever seen Office Space?
Yeah. She just stopped showing up.
Great movie.
Never seen Office Space. Every person over a certain age, I'm going to say 30.
Age shame me, do it.
I'm going to say at least 30. They always are like, this place is just like Office Space. I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about.
What was your favorite comedy when you were a child?
Like comedy? Like What Step Brothers? Like,
would that be what it is?
that's what we watched in junior high and high school.
So like that's the one you guys like referenced and like joked about.
Oh, that's like how we communicate.
Why are you sweating? Because I was watching Cops.
Honestly,
exactly.
Yeah.
This house is a prison. That's how I feel right now. It's a little bit.
Grandma's Boy. Race car bed.
Never. I wasn't old enough to watch that.
Honestly, I'm so distracted right now. Aaron is
So
taking
many
photos with the
pictures.
cat. Harry is leaning across the table showing things on his phone. What is happening tonight?
It's because the Busch Light is 95
Is that cat
calories.
licking his hair?
Yes.
0.7 grams of protein and 3.2 grams of carb.
Solid beer.
Yeah.
It is.
I mean, like, health wise, because like Michelob Ultra, or what's the one that's like the chick beer that looks like it's in a Red Bull can? Michelob Ultra.
Yeah,
the
Michelob Ultra.
Yeah, like
That's for rich.
that's even more water.
That's for like rich folks.
I used to think it was cheap. It's the same price like Miller Lite, Bud Light.
It is. It's premium beer.
No, it's not. It's
It was
cheaper
the same-
than Bud Light.
No, they were the same price tonight.
Are you sure? Because do you look at how many are in a case?
Yeah, you get 30.
Oh,
get
that's true.
30
That's
in
true.
a
They're the
Busch
same
Light.
price, but I get 30.
And you
it's like
get
Keystone
what do
Light.
you get? 24 in
24.
a Miller.
The volume up here versus the volume sold in Metamora, where she's from, in Franklin County, is a
I'm-
lot different.
Hey, I shared the article that it's the #1 cheap beer.
No, Hams is. Okay.
No, it's not #1.
That was
Get
cunty.
him- Okay, can we go back to when
No,
Aaron didn't
Hams
have a
is
mic?
disgusting.
Can we go back to that?
Thank you.
Hams is below
yeah.
Stroh's.
It's so nice for once to have you on my side.
I'm so
Stroh's.
with Chris on this. Can
Yes.
we just
Ice
get over-
House, everything else.
See,
Oh, I can't. I literally can't even, Greg.
it literally took her an hour and 13 minutes because when we sat down, she was like, "Where's Aaron's mic? Does Aaron get a mic? That's not nice."
I did not say that.
And then
You're kind of basic.
and then you're like, this is my Hannah impression. Why doesn't Aaron get a mic? He have a mic? I want a mic.
I have a sore throat.
Yeah, I know you do. Did you take my remedy suggestion?
Mm-hmm.
John Weber.
What?
I thought you were going a different route with that.
No.
Me too.
No.
Yep.
Gargle some tranny fluid. And so
Okay.
Brian, do you have a favorite beer?
You know, I'm from way upstate New York, like borderline Canada. Molson.
Yes.
Like,
Okay.
Yeah.
You know what?
Yep.
I can respect that. I can respect that.
It's Canadian.
It's
the best.
Canadian.
So like we are very anti-Canadian.
So
Moosehead's better.
it's okay. that-
Oh,
You
What?
Harry, you people. I'll tell you. You people.
well,
I'm not saying what kind of people, but you fucking people.
right.
Moosehead's just a better Pilsner. Superior Pilsner.
I'm so sick
the
of hearing that
Molson.
word.
I need like a beer safe space around
Same.
Harry.
So, so are you converting? Maybe.
No, I always drink Busch Light.
Do you really?
I mean, like, I drink Bell's Two Hearted almost exclusively, but if not, like on the golf course for golf outings, I always drink Busch Light.
Right.
Because I think it tastes the exact same as Bud Light and Miller Light.
And it's usually cheaper.
Miller Lite is way
Get him out of here. He's got to go.
seriously.
Really? Like, I really don't think Coors Light. Okay, Coors Light to me tastes the most like it, but Bud and Miller have a slightly more distinct flavor.
I just love that she goes, get him out. Oh, God.
This Miller, like,
Tastes like Bud Ice.
Spangle, you didn't even weigh like. Because I kind of feel like we discussed the good parts of the healthcare. It's really just kind of a slight.
Doesn't seem much different.
It really isn't.
Did you read all 11 pages?
It really is,
I
and
always
it's still 2 bills, right? And like so, then it has to go to the Senate. That's the other thing. It has to go to the Senate, and the Democrats have the ability to rip out the whole clause about
Aborted, if you will.
Yeah. They literally they can abort the part where you don't have to publicly fund abortions, and so that's probably like assuming this thing passes, that's probably going to be added in, and I can't wait for Ted Cruz to weigh in on it because you know how him and Mike Lee are going to feel about that.
Yeah.
So I mean, I'll tell you, it's God. There is this. I guess this show's sort of emblematic of how difficult the healthcare situation is. It's so it's difficult to talk about because I guess one way to look at it is like, do you support publicly? Do you support any type of funding for people that just got a bad hand?
Absolutely not.
Harry,
I come on, Harry.
What?
I'm not going to be more anarchist than you on this subject, am I?
For public funding of it with no, I can't. I want to be able to help those people, but not fight the threat of the gun. I'm not going to do it for that.
I certainly understand and see your point of view. But
of course, yeah. I'm not calling you like like a social Darwinist or anything.
But from a philosophical, it's like you can't the intentions are always going to be good, but the outcome and the bureaucracy is never going to be effective, and you're always going to end up with what we have now.
Yeah.
And the growth that you've seen over the last 100 years in this area.
Correct. When you get someone who's weighs 500 pounds sitting on disability and Social Security check, that's the problem with it being like a government like tax-paid system.
It's really funny. I was listening to a pretty controversial figure. Paul Gottfried was interviewed by Tom Woods a week ago or a week and a half ago. Paul Gottfried's sort of one of the people that was kicked out of the conservative movement under William F. Buckley when they were kicking out like the John Birch Society back in the 70s. And he was sort of the OG Richard Spencer. And it's funny. It's funny. What they were talking about was the history of the conservative movement and how today's alt-right. It's funny. It isn't. They're not like fiscally conservative like that. Like when you listen to them talk about what they want and why they want what they want, they're okay with like a Sweden type model. Like they're okay for a social welfare state as long as it's for their
Americans.
People. Yeah, right. And so what's actually interesting, why that's relevant, is Vox put out this really great piece earlier this week where they were talking about the paradox of the liberalism is that Americans only support the social welfare state for their ethnicities. And that's where it's broken down in Europe, and that's where it's broken down in the United States, and why that's sort of a flaw going forward is that everybody's okay with the social welfare state for as long as it's the people that they know locally and in their community. The second it's expanded to those lazy Mexicans or those rapist Mexicans, they're incredibly against it.
Sure.
And I think that's something that's going to be interesting going forward in American politics because we're seeing it sort of break apart Europe right now. A lot of Europe's social welfare spending is going to be contingent upon basically ethnicity, it looks like, going forward.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you, I hate it that Richard Spencer's becoming relevant because he, like 4 years ago, this is a guy that wasn't nearly as, he would have never at the National Policy Institute before the election done a Hail Trump and let that be a soundbite. But he's an extremely well-read guy, and he was really, he nailed this commentary and saw this coming in America, and that we're just sort of about 25 years behind where Europe is. Mm-hmm. And what it talked about was how this has been seen coming on the right for so long, and how this has been these guys that were cast aside are now they've arrived. Yeah. I mean, Stephen Miller is someone that co-chaired the Duke Conservative Union with Richard Spencer, and he's in the White House. And so I'm going to be really interested to see how this goes because, like Obamacare, it looks like we're going to get a slight reform or we won't, and it's going to stay. But I've always just assumed it'd keep growing. And are you okay?
Yeah, I'm listening. Yeah, he's just making dick motions at me. He couldn't be more distracting of a person.
Oh no, he's fine. Are you okay?
What are you doing? Now she's just leaving. She's got to pee. Oh, okay. All right. She just took her whole purse. Yeah, it's okay. But the seat's probably not as up because there are animals here.
You're not getting the mic back.
Cis male.
When you get back.
Yeah, Hannah, yes, Spangle, you're a white cis male.
I'm the captain.
And you just assumed her gender.
Absolutely.
You're a white male.
Honestly, just take her mic.
I commandeered it.
I guess the only interesting thing to me was that I had always assumed, I guess one of the flaws of my logic is that I assumed that in America this will just keep going, like the welfare state will keep going. Mm-hmm. But as whites become a fewer and fewer of the majority in the United States, thanks, Harry. we may very well see the exact same thing that's happening in Europe, where it becomes very tribal, and they don't want to pay. Certain states want to go back and sort of take a step to a more federalist type state, where the states administer these just purely out of ethno-nationalism, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's what's happening in Europe. That's why you're seeing that all these people, these social democratic, lifestyle utopianists, all of a sudden don't want to pay for people coming into their country that don't look like them.
Yeah, interesting. All right, final thoughts on this, Brian.
I just wish we could get rid of all the 70 years of building this up Honestly, it just kills me.
I know.
Just
If there
rewind
were a
and start
reset
over.
button, it would be so different.
Yeah. Just unplug it and plug it back in and see what happens.
And instead, it's just like trying to. It's like, honestly, it's like trying to waltz in a straitjacket. Like trying to do anything,
That's
with
a
this.
perfect analogy. Perfect analogy.
I just, it's brutal. And I want repeal, and yet I know repeal is not reality. And then I want small reductions because they're there, but then I know that probably just continues it until Democrats are in charge.
right.
And then I want the Liberty Caucus to stand strong, and then we get Obamacare, and it's like.
Yeah, and
You're damned
Obamacare
if you do, you're damned if you don't.
You so
honestly.
are.
Yeah, and Obamacare still hasn't really kicked in full, like all 18 wheels of anal justice full blower yet.
We're in the free part. Like,
Right, yeah.
we're in you get the goodies, but
Yeah.
you don't have to pay for it yet.
Right, yeah.
Which is scary.
Yeah, but because it's coming. Yeah, around the corner as soon as because like a lot of businesses, like they've been locked into a lot of their 4-year agreement right now, so they're having to re-up this year at full bore payment. So most people's health insurance is going to go up after the end of the year. So if yours hasn't gone up, yours has stayed the same. Well, this is it.
Surprise!
Yeah, here it comes.
Yeah. Yes, we can. All of a sudden, it came due.
Yeah, I recommend. Hey, if they don't repeal the law, learn Spanish and get ready to go to Mexico to get your health care done. Because it'll be cheaper to go to Mexico every time you need your tooth taken care of.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, so let's move on to our next topic. So we could talk about the terror attacks, but I feel like we've kind of covered that. So the other big news is what's going on now? What happened?
I was laughing about just another terror attack.
Just another terror
No,
attack, yeah.
that's a perfect commentary because isn't that where we are as a society? It's like, oh look, another Briton got stabbed.
Yeah, but it's kind of cool to watch some of the British liberals their reaction to it. Like, no, it's like some of them are finally are going off and saying that their culture is wrong. We should keep them over there, and if they keep coming over here, now we should bomb them. I'm like, wow, these liberals finally turned the corner.
Yeah. Yeah, you can see all the details of the terror attack in our show notes on the episode on the website.
Do you mind if I just comment on one thing on it real
absolutely.
quick? Because there is something to me just so fascinating, and it's something we were talking about, is what's happening in our country and what's happening right now in Europe is that the clash of civilizations is taking place. And liberalism is different. So liberalism, if anyone's familiar with Spinoza, is about oneness in that eventually we all just melting pot come together. It's there's no differences. Kumbaya. Conservatism's different in that it's primal and there's this eternal goodness that's sort of based in a lot of its philosophical beliefs, in that there's this higher power. There's something good about being American that's innate and primal, and it's a budding up that now liberalism is starting to have to adopt the conservative parts. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. And so I am going to be so interested to watch all these people that have been kumbaya liberals their entire lives be like, no, none for you. And then we're so desensitized to terror attacks, it's hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Were you born? Yeah, you were born for 9/11.
Yeah, I was in first grade.
And you have no recollection of it at all,
I
right?
do. I remember the tourist.
For somebody like me, I was 18. The tourist attack. Tell that story.
The tourist. I mean, I thought my sister had said that the tourists were attacking.
Right.
We got on the bus that
Oh,
day.
gotcha.
But
yeah.
it had no emotional impact on you, did it?
No, she was crying. She had saw her teachers crying, so whenever I got on the bus, my sister was crying, so then I cry.
Right.
But other than that, I didn't know why.
Right.
I just knew group cry, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Group cry.
And so now you're one of those snowflakes.
Trained you for college.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm non-binary. I'd appreciate it.
Right, gender fluid.
I had to get you here, and I had
Can
to
I
be
borrow some gender fluid for my car?
If you would have put gender fluid in your car, we wouldn't be in this
I
situation.
literally was I didn't know if to tell her whether Harry was going to come, because I thought she might be like, well, no, I'm non-binary, and that's binary.
Trust me, if we look back in Harry's past, there's some binary and non-binary.
That's true. There's a picture that proves that Harry is somewhere on the spectrum of fluidity.
Especially when alcohol gets in, my system, yeah.
And then you go up there and LARP with those free staters.
Starts LARPing.
Uh-oh.
So let's talk about the Trump investigation, because there's been some interesting developments, and it's starting to look like Trump saying that I just don't think that Donald Trump could get on Twitter and say, I've been spied on, and not have some sort of inside information as to that being the case. You know what I mean? And so
And it was targeted.
Sure.
And specific.
What was that? Did you just...
That was me.
Did
that
you
was
just...
me. Like, I
are
don't
you
know.
beating off?
I know. I'm sighing a little bit because, like, could Trump not go on Twitter and say something that's not true? I mean, look at what he did during the primaries against, like, Ted Cruz, where he was like, Ted Cruz's dad was with Lee Harvey Oswald.
Okay,
like,
but here's a fair...
That's fact. I don't know I don't know why you're spreading fake news.
Here's a fair point, and I like that you challenged me because it gives me a chance to explain this, okay? Donald Trump has access to a lot of information, a lot of security briefings, and I have thought all along that stuff is going to leak out on his Twitter at some point, and he's going to accidentally expose national secrets on Twitter, and I think that this is probably a case of that. And so there's the House Intel Chairman Devin Nunes spoke to reporters when he left the briefing at the White House and had some stunning things to say. And so these are some of his statements. He briefed the president on concerns over incidental collection. President, quote unquote, president needs to know these intel reports exist. Some of what I've seen seems to be inappropriate. Trump and others in the transition put into intelligence reports. And the question is if Trump should be in the normal reports. And the punchline is there are multiple FISA warrants outstanding against Trump. Nunes also told reporters there are multiple FISA warrants out there involving Trump. The FBI is not cooperating with House Republicans and their investigation into the NSA's surveillance of the 2016. That's right. That's how fancy people say it, Harry. And Nunes said that he had briefed the president about his concerns over the incidental collection of data because he felt like the president needed to know that he was in these reports. And so what was most troubling in the Nunes presser is the aftermath of Monday's congressional hearing that with James Comey, in which the FBI director said on the record there had been no surveillance of Trump. Surveillance. I can't say it any other way. Surveillance of Trump. Is the House Intel Commission chair's statement that the FBI is not cooperating with the investigation. Quote, unquote, quote, we don't actually know what happened yet to General Flynn, Nunes said, of how the communications from Flynn's calls were leaked to the press. We just know that his name leaked out, but we don't know how it was picked up yet. That was one of the things that we asked for in the March 15th letter, was how the NSA, CIA, and FBI to get us the information on how the unmasking was done. And I'll tell you, the NSA is being cooperative, but so far the FBI has not told us whether or not they're going to respond to our March 15th letter, which is a couple of weeks old now, and that he cannot rule out President Obama ordering the surveillance. How do you say it?
Surveillance. Strategery.
Surveillance. I say surveillance. I think it's much classier. Finally, and contrary... Finally, and contrary to earlier media reports, Nunes clarified that the surveillance was not related to the FBI's investigation into possible collusion with Russia. This surveillance, he emphasized to reporters, does not have anything to do with Russia. So we talked in the CIA episode, which, by the way, I went back and listened to episode 198 today because I wanted to get an idea of how it sounded, how the show sounded, just to tweak things. Harry is the most fascinating character on We Are Libertarians in years. I can't wait to peel this onion more. Onion.
Onion?
Onion. And I have to say, you hear like, oh, well, you hear us talking about taping up your microphones and all this stuff because the NSA and the CIA might come in and tap. And what if I've got nothing to hide? General Flynn proves that anybody can be vulnerable at any time because they tapped his phones, they used that information for political reasons, theoretically, and look where he's at now. His reputation ruined and his job ended.
Absolutely. Like, I personally believe that he didn't do anything wrong whatsoever at all, and that it was a rabid press feeding a narrative, and they made the wrong decision. And granted, he's not supposed to speak on behalf of the executive branch when he's not a member of it at that time, but I feel like it was... I'm probably biased, but if it had been me and I had been President Trump, I would have given him a promotion and a raise. But that, just to make the liberals even more outraged. But that's kind of my mindset. I'm becoming more and more anti-left before I'm anything.
So put some of this into context. I mean, is this all new developments?
Oh, so from my perspective, now granted, there's going to be people that contend this because it's Republicans investigating a Republican.
Sure.
So it has the appearance of impropriety, but I personally think that there is a very good case that, as Andrew Napolitano wrote in an article, that President Obama will probably escape any type of prosecution. But I personally think that he requested he be tapped, and that instead of ordering it through the FBI, it was given to him by GHCQ in Britain. And he very much conducted a Watergate type of scandal and got away with it and will get away with it. That is my personal opinion. And when you see that, this is something that's going to probably come out more, but there is a whistleblower that I actually linked to the article. A guy named an attorney named Larry Klayman is representing Dennis Montgomery, who's a CIA and NSA contractor that was a whistleblower and tried to go through traditional mediums. He stole 600 million pages of information, 47 hard drives worth, most of which is classified, and in it certainly appears that the Hammer program that came out in the WikiLeaks dump, or the Hammer or something virus, was being used to conduct surveillance on top-level officials, including Supreme Court justices, as we'll find out as more leaks are confirmed. And I just have the feeling that this is confirmation of the deep state.
Right.
It is complete manipulation through personal means. They're using any dirt they can find personally in order to manipulate free and fair elections, as well as supreme law of the land rulings. And in my personal opinion, I believe, like Glenn Beck called it back during the Obamacare challenge, that the way that opinion was written, where Justice Roberts authored a dissent style, and it was a majority consensus opinion, I think he wrote it a dissent, and I think I personally, this isn't confirmed, and this is purely hearsay, but I believe that his opinion was influenced by surveillance.
And so basically what Glenn Beck speculated at the time, took a lot of crap for, and we found interesting, was the theory that this just doesn't make sense. Why would Justice Roberts uphold the Obamacare ruling when he's a conservative justice
and write it as a dissent?
What do they have on him that they've threatened him with?
Either he had the biggest conscience of crisis ever, not wanting to play politics with the court, which is just as well likely. The way our government operates anymore, I assume they're guilty of everything and they have to prove themselves innocent.
Yeah.
You're not going to give them the benefit of the doubt on a single thing.
Absolutely.
Like if I hear that it's rumored about our government, I believe it's true, and the burden is on them to prove that it is not. She needs another Starbucks, doesn't she?
I feel like we're boring her. Are we boring you?
No.
Okay. Hang in there.
Okay.
What do you want to talk about?
Taylor Swift or?
Oh, yeah, Taylor Swift.
22. So,
yeah, I am feeling 22. I don't know about you guys.
No, I feel 22 all the time. So, Brian, what are your thoughts on all this? I mean, you're a fresh perspective on a lot of the CIA stuff. I mean, our listeners obviously know where we stand on WikiLeaks and all this stuff after the last few episodes, and the Russia stuff. I mean, what has your opinion of Trump being a Russian plant evolved? I mean, where do you see this coming down?
Well, honestly, I see it from both perspectives. Just because, I mean, number one, what you guys have covered with the Vault 7, that was an absolutely phenomenal episode. Because, I mean, Greg, you and Harry went into such detail into like what they were actually doing, and it really does make you open your eyes. And you couple that with you have we're on record with, I think it was James Clapper, the head of the NSA, right?
Yeah.
When he was in under the committee hearing, saying like, oh, we weren't spying on Americans, and then Edward Snowden comes out and shows, oh yeah, they actually were spying on Americans.
Yeah.
I'm not surprised by anything at this point, and that's a really good thing to bring up. But like at the same point in time, it's so hard to ignore the connections that exist. I mean, and I think the glaring beacon right there that is like the biggest connection is Paul Manafort, and he wouldn't have stepped down as campaign chairman as if there was nothing that was wrong, and that. To me, that really raised a red flag, because I mean, it sounds so cliche. But like if you have nothing to hide, then what do you have to worry about? For him to step down in such a manner, in such not only just such a manner, but it was under the cover of darkness, essentially. Just he phased out, and Kellyanne Conway took his place. I really feel that there's something more that we're not aware of on either side, where Democrats are pushing so hard this narrative that Trump was fueled by the Russians to win. But at the same point in time, the reality is that our government surveillance agencies, they do so many things behind the scenes and lie to us to our face. And we've caught them lying to our face, that there's so much to really dig through. But it's so difficult for us as just, average everyday citizens to do that, because we don't have the means. We don't have the ability to really, meet with these individuals. And I just think there's a lot that we really won't know until probably 50, 60 years from now, when, the dust settles and we're able to really go back and reflect on truly what happened. So I'm completely up in the air on this. I think it could go either way. I think there's a lot of shady things that happen on both sides of the aisle. But like I said, it's just things that we don't know, and I don't think we will know for a long time.
Yeah, it's one of those things, and it's going to be, honestly, I believe it's going to be like JFK. By the time we do actually know, nobody's going to care. There should be this huge outrage.
Exactly.
There should be like a march on Washington, and at the end of the day, it's like, it's all right. Does my EBT card still work? Or can I still use dollars in order to go and fund things? And instead, it's so disappointing, because to me, even today's WikiLeaks is just further confirmation with the Dark Matters leak that they have been installing hardware on every Apple iPhone since 2008. That's a backdoor. So any of you that have an iPhone, they're in there. And honestly, no one cares.
It's only going to get worse.
Oh, it is worse. We only know the easy stuff.
Well, I'm saying like the people aren't going to care, because our attention span as a society has gotten so short. I mean, it used to be what happened this past week. Now it's what happened in the past 10 minutes. And we move on to the next thing, looking for the next big story.
You're right. Like the CIA is in your phone right now, and it's like, yeah, but did you see this meme?
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
Who won the Super Bowl?
Yeah. Oh my God! Like, people love Deflategate, but no one gives a shit about WikiLeaks.
Right.
like literally, Deflategate got an entire year of coverage about whether or not you could. I mean, it was forensic level analysis of whether you could deflate those balls in that period of time. And this comes out that the CIA is in your phone, can take over your car, is in your TV. They actually get it from the manufacturer and install it. It's like, yeah, but did you see Tom Brady?
Right.
OMG, right? And Hannah's laughing because that's totally her. She's over there typing on her Snapchatting, bored out of her mind, and then it's like, oh yeah, hi Mr. CIA man, and then taking a selfie and sending it to him.
They love my Snapchats.
Do
the
they?
CIA loves my Snapchat.
You are so fetch.
They do.
I love that she's wanted so hard to come on for a year, and then she gets here and she's so ready to leave.
That's not true. I'm not ready to leave.
She'll never want to. You're never going to come back, are you?
No, I'm coming back. If you'll have me, I'll come back. Maybe next time you can give me more than 24 hours notice.
Oh, I'll have you. Are you going to go check my car for me? Thank you.
Are you leaving?
The pizza's coming.
Yeah.
He's not ordering pizza.
Mm-hmm.
He's being nice.
He's buttering you up. Are you going to fall for it?
Yes.
Okay.
Right, pizza is the gateway to my heart.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm just going to sit over in Philadelphia by myself. So.
I know, right?
Sorry.
I'll come back and
we're also going to, before we finish, I want to talk about how we met her.
Oh, yeah.
And Harry needs to weigh in on this.
Hold up. Before you go to that, so everyone stops getting all paranoid. A lot of the different hacks or different stuff that are coming out through the WikiLeaks documents, a lot of those are old stuff that have been patched by the manufacturer.
Yes. They're no longer zero-day exploits.
Correct. They haven't been for a while. The Apple firmware one, that's old. A lot of it's old stuff. A lot of people have known about it, and you have to actually get physical access to those devices. So if you are a direct target of the CIA, you're pwned.
Like the president.
Yeah, you're pwned. If you're not a direct target, 9 out of 10 times out of chances, you're fine. You're fine.
You appear on a libertarian podcast.
That's when your co-host gives you to the CIA willingly while you hop on a flight.
Also, thank you. I made it to Boston and back without incident. I didn't check bags. I knew better, but thank you for not turning me in.
I've foregone my vengeance.
I did get
like Vito Corleone.
I got my balls felled a few times. It was great. So I thank you for that.
Win-win.
As well. What'd you grow?
What?
You're on the prowl over here.
No.
My address is 48. Oh, You're trying to get me. Hold on, let me write it down, or Greg will text it to you. But yeah, so I mean, I think that this is Harry. This is like so hard for people to comprehend. It's so hard for people to. Brian Nichols has to get off at 9:30, so we've got 3 minutes left with Brian. So make your point quick so we can say goodbye to Brian.
What I do is to say a lot of the different exploits are like physical access stuff, and there's some also the bigger issue of the Internet of Thing devices that are the biggest problems. Right. As long as you get that crap out of your life and just watch physical access of your things, you're pretty much fine as long as you stay updated. But if you're an actual target of the CIA, you're kind of pwned. There's other things that you need to be doing if you're an actual target.
Miranda's nudes are safe, then, is what you're saying.
Thank God.
Yes.
There is justice in this world.
You're a big Miranda fan.
There's justice in this world.
You might be a bigger Miranda fan than Brian.
Brian loves Miranda, right?
What's not to love about Miranda?
Have you listened to the new Miranda's World episode with?
No. Oh. I need to.
Well,
I've been going through like all the We Are Libertarians podcasts one by one, and like each one just has their own little flavor of hilarity, and it's phenomenal. I'm so glad I stumbled upon the We Are Libertarians empire here.
Well, thank you so much. Yeah, and loved having you on. It was it was nice for Greg to have a rational, logical discussion tonight.
No, I really appreciate you coming on. I look forward to having you on again, Brian.
See, Brian, we have to
absolutely.
We have to take him out and let him play sometimes. So,
well, I consider this stuff really important, and so it's nice that someone else does.
I wish Hannah did.
No, it's important. It's important.
Is it?
Yeah, it is. Okay. I wish I could have participated more.
Well, you had notes.
I didn't study.
You had 11 pages of single-spaced.
I thought I could wing it, but this level of we went full spectrum tonight.
Yeah,
and I couldn't keep up.
This has been a very disorganized and rambling show. To be honest,
there was a lot of screeching. Oh, I mean,
no, this is not one of our best episodes. To be honest,
oh, that's so rude.
Well, it's not your fault. It's my fault because I went completely apoplectic over my car, and then Aaron has been distracting. He's out of the room. Can we all agree he was super distracting tonight?
He has to go.
I know.
Oh,
Thank
yeah,
you.
Absolutely.
Yeah, like even Brian's not here, and Brian's
There
sick
is a deadbolt.
I saw the picture of all you guys on Facebook from Aaron, and I wasn't in it, and I was sad.
I know. We wish you were here. I'll tag you.
Intern, go lock the door, please. This is why we have interns. We're going to lock the door.
No, but wait, he's got food.
That's a good point.
Don't lock the door.
No, lock the door, Ed.
No, please.
No, he answers to me.
Okay, Ed, stand by the door, please.
Excellent.
Just have him knock 3 times and get him scared, and then. But what if he leaves with our pizza?
He can feed the pizza through the mail slot.
Thank you so much, Brian.
Yes, I know you're on a time
Thanks,
crunch.
guys.
So, Brian, thank you so much, and we'll look forward to doing it again with you, buddy.
Absolutely, guys. Have a good night, and I'll definitely be looking forward to hearing from you guys in the future.
Absolutely. You take care, bud.
All right, man. Thanks.
Good. See you guys.
So, very nice. I liked him a lot. He was a good guy.
Yeah, now we can bash Hannah.
Yeah, let's go.
Now let's get on it.
We can get back on the Wi-Fi now, right?
Yes, go ahead. Yes.
Oh, my goodness.
So, I think you should go check out the show notes. I'll actually post them with the episode this time. I was a little delayed on the last two.
I put them in our group.
I got them.
Gotcha.
I just put them in the actual episode, so you can go back and review all the details.
It's not quite like an online college, is it, Hannah?
Not quite.
Yeah.
I actually have to read it. You can't just Google the answers.
Right.
You can't just Google the answers.
Or DuckDuckGo.
How many beers have you had?
Don't worry about my number of beer consumption.
I bet you get that same exact answer if you ask her how many partners.
Her dad's listening. And it's 0.
0.
I will vouch that she is a chaste woman and has only been an upstanding. I watched her. So the first night I met Hannah.
Uh-oh.
It was Young Americans for Liberty. This was when you're at IUPUI. And you were 18.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a debate. Was Andrew Reno the chair of Young Americans for Liberty? Local libertarian here?
Yeah, he was.
Aaron is.
We have screeching.
He's full screeching.
Aaron is.
Oh, let him in.
Yeah, will you let him in?
Having a laser cut key of Spangles doesn't seem so funny now.
For the record, every one of you that mocked me for wanting a wall, look at how the wall's working right fucking now. Okay?
Get the door, intern. See, Harry? You've moved up. Who wants pizza? Bring them in. Tell them to come in. My neighbors, my hot neighbors.
Where'd you order it from?
Yeah, I have smoking hot neighbors.
Do you?
I do.
Wow.
Yeah, the two girls that moved in across the hall, they're smoking hot. One has a boyfriend. The other does not like pants.
How old?
They're about 25.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
So, yeah.
Uh-oh.
Hey, girls, what's up?
So it's Young Americans for Liberty's hosting a debate between Dr. Dave. Is he actual doctor or is he like a Jeffrey Tucker doctor?
We'll call him doctor.
Yeah. Like, you know.
Why do you got to be mean to Jeffrey?
Because he's not an actual doctor. Like, it's like,
what? He paid for it?
No, it was honorary. Like, you don't get a doctorate
Just
if it's
call him
honorary.
doctor.
All right. So Dr.
Are you
David.
assuming his education?
Yeah. Like the Lord Acton Institute's a real school. But David Friedman is having a debate with Randall Holcomb from Florida State, political science professor at Florida State University, and it's literally the most autism down the rabbit hole.
Screeching.
Who planned that, by the way? Was that you? Because you were
You know what?
you were big like
Buddy,
yay Liberty at the time.
I was the events coordinator, but I feel like it got like
co-opted.
Once they realized it was serious that we got these people on the hook, they took it out of my hands. They were like, "We better not."
She's 18. She doesn't know what.
No, because like literally, she was so like you were brand new in the big city.
Oh.
You know, and like
I was so hardcore.
And like you got to go to like your first Coke conference, and like
oh yeah,
people were using the drugs, and you were like, oh my god.
Oh, I didn't know what libertarian is. No, I went to LPAC. LPAC was my first libertarian experience where I was like, wait, we're not going to
Dallas?
the conference.
Oh,
no,
wow.
It was in DC.
In DC. Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I didn't know.
Aaron,
what I was delving into. I love it. I loved it, but
I love Liberty.
I really enjoyed Liberty on all those weekends.
So you're at that, and then you're like do the deep dive, and so you guys book, which is like amazing. You get Dr. Milton Friedman's son.
It was impressive.
Yeah, and Randall Holcomb to have a debate, and like Milton Friedman's son is every bit as like pedantic and condescending as you might ever imagine about his book and his like .blogspot blog about how the machinations of the state are into the inevitable. What's going to happen.
Yeah.
And so
that's on our YouTube channel. If you go watch it, you can watch it.
And I had played in a golf outing before, so I'm like pretty lit. And I show up, and you like at one point are like, holy shit. Because I'm kind of new to We Are Libertarians at the time. And you're like, Greg, stop it. Because I'm challenging David Friedman's son at the debate. Like, you're wrong. Like, you're clearly wrong. The arc of history does not go that way. And you just kind of look at me and you're like, and then you tweet out, Greg just told Milton Friedman's son that he was wrong.
Well, we were guests. Like, we weren't even,
Yeah.
I was like, he's lying. That's fake news.
Yeah.
And so, but then that goes on. And so I hadn't met you yet.
God.
But I see David Friedman like hitting on you.
Mm-hmm.
Spinning mad game.
Yeah, he was trying to show me his machinery of freedom.
He was. And so then I get to, in the interim, on the way over to the Skyline Club, which you should not have been at because you were 18, and that is for 21 and over.
Fake news. Continue.
Anyway, but I meet Seth Nyman. And at the time, it's gay or it's straight Seth Nyman, who's a good Presbyterian boy.
Oh, he was straight then? Didn't know. Okay.
Hadn't told his parents yet, not out of the closet. And he comes up to me and he goes, "You sound nothing like you look like, and this is why you're wrong about and why an anarcho-capitalist society can't work." And I thought, you have autism like I've never seen. Like, you literally could not be more autistic.
Let me tell you why you're wrong. You don't understand. I mean, honestly, it's very...
And
don't get me started. I
so
have a
to
bone
see-
to pick, but continue.
Yeah, and so to see Seth now, and the Seth who had like, what are those Flowbee, like the Flowbee haircut where like you just put it on a setting and it's a machine, like you just put it over like you do at home.
Yeah.
He had that kind of haircut.
Yeah,
he
right.
had glasses, and like he was desperately restraining his homosexuality, and was like
It was peeking out.
flaming ANCAP. And so
he claims that he was gayer then than he is now.
he was way gayer then than he is now. Way gayer.
Yeah.
And so we go. So then there's an event that you're not supposed to be at. Turns out you are. How did you get in?
What?
You're a libertarian. You're allowed to break laws.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. How'd I get in?
Yeah.
I just walked in. I'm a female.
Oh, that's right. You were a planner.
I'm a female at a libertarian event. They don't shut you out.
They had given out, like, you had wristbands. So
No, I walked in and I handed my ID, which was vertical, right?
Yeah.
So obviously I'm not 21. I handed it to them. They ignore it and they put the wristband on me.
Okay, so that makes sense.
But you didn't drink, did you?
Are you kidding me? Of course I drank.
drank.
I had a ride home and everything.
Yeah. Yeah, she did.
Who was the ride home? David Friedman?
Do you remember there was another Hannah?
There was.
What
And
was her
we
name?
we went to that party.
Yeah, I didn't
Except I got
go.
lost with Dan Drexler in the parking garage for 2 hours and showed up late,
what's
and you
her
were just
name?
there. Hanna.
Oh, that's right, on the south side.
Yeah, at Andrew's apartment.
Yeah.
So the whole time, like this, and this is the night you introduced me to Bittner. So I have a little bit of a bone to pick with you. And Suzanne Schaefer was there as well. And we're all hanging out, having a good time. And then, like, everybody's going to do a group picture. And David Friedman will not stop. And I had like 9 scotches at this point. I drank all day, like hammered, been out in the sun. And David Friedman will not stop talking to you and like hitting on you. And Randall Holcomb took a picture of you that became like one of our first memes.
There was a meme.
And Randall Holcomb is terrified to be standing next to a woman. And like, you're just smiling.
You can tell. He's like shuddering.
And he's like, like that. And,
so mean.
No, like...
No, I'm like 18. I'm in like a pencil skirt and like little conservative 3-inch heels, and like I don't even remember. I mean, it was.
Sorry, I mean,
it was very.
Yeah. And so he will not stop talking to you and like spitting game. And I just like at this point had it because I'm ready to go to this party.
Yeah.
And I just start screaming Poonhound over and over to the point they like asked me to get out of the picture, and I still don't think I'm actually in the picture.
You're not.
Yeah, I'm not.
Where are those pictures? They're not on my Facebook.
They're on our wall page.
Okay, I need to go back.
Yeah, they're on our wall page. And so then, because I talked to you like a little bit. 'Cause I offended you, right?
Probably. Yeah, you call me a neoconservative.
Yeah, because you were.
You said you were taking. Were you taking a picture? Were you taking pictures that night?
No.
I don't know. Somebody was taking a picture, and you said, "Say 1, 2, 3, neocon."
So good with women.
Winning.
Yeah. So.
And so I actually offended you?
No, you didn't offend me.
Okay. All right.
No.
And so when Seth, like I said, Hannah's going to join us on the podcast.
Oh, full blown.
And Seth goes, "You realize she's a Republican, right?" Like
you know who she voted for?
Who'd you vote for?
No, we're not doing that.
Yeah, we are. Who'd she vote for?
No.
Greg?
No. Greg,
Your allegiance,
I told you that in confidence.
Is your allegiance to me or to her?
I told you that in confidence.
As someone who at
you
that
have
party,
outed me 3 different times on this podcast.
How have I outed you?
You've revealed 3 of my secrets.
Which are?
Where I go to school, where I work, and
should I have not said that?
I don't know. I don't know who listens to this. I don't know who's
6,000 downloads weekly.
I don't know who's out there.
144,000 downloads every 3 months.
I don't know who's out there.
It's no Tad Talks.
Moving on.
Anyway, and so did you go to that party?
I didn't. I don't remember why.
Because you were David Friedman.
Did you suck off David?
No.
No.
I don't even know.
Did you guys stay in contact after?
I don't know if his machinery of freedom works anymore.
Did you guys stay in contact after?
No. No.
Okay.
Okay, you don't believe me?
I believe you.
Okay.
So then I tell Spangle, do you remember this?
No.
And I'm like, do you know that girl, that Hanna girl?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, does she know Andrew Reno? Or like, you know, I'd never met you before, and
I'd never seen her before. No.
And so then I see on Facebook, your name is Hanna Weber 96, and I go, you don't think?
Yeah.
So I think what I'd have been like 27. Yeah, that'd have been like 27. I'm like, you surely don't think? And you're like, yeah.
And
I'm
she's
like
18.
And I'm like, what?
She was born in 1996.
No, I was born in 95. I don't know where the 96 comes from.
And I was just like, oh my god.
Yeah,
that was the first time. Yeah, like that was the first time I really felt old because I thought you were for sure 21 because you were in.
Really?
Like when somebody says I'm in first grade on 9/11.
I was a freshman in college.
No, I know, but you were 18,
right?
Yeah.
Were you 18?
Yes, I was 18 when I started college.
Okay.
I immediately friended her.
Oh yeah. Well, I showed you that, and before I had even friended her, you had friended her.
Oh yeah, and I think we compared notes, and you had called dibs on her at one point.
I did. I called dibs, and then statute of limitations, and I didn't see you forever.
No, I went under the political radar. And then I came back with a few like rage-filled posts that Spangle saw.
Yeah.
And
then you ruined my last year.
I ruined your last year.
She chased me down and slid DMs.
That's not true.
And I saw you at Steak and Shake at one point, and like we sat back to back at a Steak and Shake downtown, and I was just like, I don't know this girl, and I want to talk to her.
I frequent that Steak and Shake. I used to. When I lived downtown, I used to frequent that Steak and Shake.
The one on the circle?
I was like, wow, she's really mowing down the food.
I can eat. I know. I'm a good eater.
Oh.
Yeah, you are, girl.
Yeah.
But yeah, so then like I hadn't heard from you or ever hadn't talked to you, and then you started talking to her.
Yeah.
And then sure as shit, one Monday morning last, October?
Oh, are we going there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
Hold on, let's go.
Last October, I wake up from my ex at the time to literally every time we had interacted over the course of a calendar year.
Like screenshots, right? Of my likes and
every
my
single
I was
interaction.
just trolling. I didn't mean anything by it.
And Miranda's. Every fucking it was a Monday morning.
Miranda?
Yeah. And
That's
so
like just
every,
one more thing.
Every
we share.
morning. So I wake up on a Monday morning. It's like 7:15. I wake up and I'm like, oh my God, because my messenger is going so far back I can't scroll, and I am just like, and no words. So I know I'm like, fuck.
She just sent you the documents.
Yeah. And so it was like, and then I didn't hear anything till like early afternoon. I was like,
you just didn't respond.
What do you say?
Yeah.
Every interaction for a calendar year.
And I didn't know any of this until another year.
We hadn't
right?
talked.
He never once reached out to me and said, hey, can you stop trolling my Facebook, or can you stop putting hearts on my memes and stuff?
Right.
Like,
and it was just like...
Never. I didn't know.
Knowing you, like, you were just trolling. You were just, like, trying to be funny.
I guess I would, like, put hearts. Like, he would probably say something very, like, Nazi-ish, and I would, like...
I don't know why you'd say that.
I would put hearts on it.
Yeah.
Being sarcastic.
It wasn't anything that even flirty at all.
No.
No, because you have...
We honestly didn't interact. Like, that's the thing, is there were no, like...
I found this out at Morty's.
Yeah, we did. He didn't...
You were...
like, I didn't know you. I hadn't talked to you at all. And so I was like, I don't know... Like, if I say that, I'm fucked. Because that's, like, gonna look... Like, clearly it's gonna look like a lie. Like, you have never talked to this person?
Right.
Did you just see? I've always in my relationships I've had to explain Libertarians away a lot.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah, especially me.
I never do anything.
And I just explain like, well, they're Libertarians. They're different. Like they interact differently. I just have to go there. I just have to say, listen, you're like, don't. And I always say, don't feed the trolls. Like, don't. Once you reply to them, you're toast. I can't help you at that point. You're already in the hole. I can't help you.
Because every time her boyfriend would post a photo of her, I would do haha or sad face or angry face.
Every time I would wake up to texts that were like, me and that Chris Spangle's a real fuck.
That dude hates me.
Or I don't even know why you talk to him. They just don't get it. But if you're not...
I mean,
I never did that, did
spectrum,
I went in on hard on him.
You've trolled some things. That's why my mom has to say, did you see what Gregory Lenz posted on your Facebook? Because you say random things that she doesn't know how to take, so she's asking me to explain.
Like Hitler did nothing wrong.
No, I don't remember all the things that you've put on my Facebook where my mom was like, did you see Gregory Lenz's comment?
Hi, Cheryl.
Moms hate
Mom.
Greg Lenz.
Your mother hates Greg
my
Lenz.
mom doesn't hate you. She was just making sure.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, Gregory Lenz is on a timeout because of Aaron Ewert.
Yeah, it's true.
Which he has not apologized for.
It's true.
He bought you pizza, though. You can have pizza.
I didn't get offered any pizza.
Have pizza.
That's why I brought it.
Oh my God, you were so...
It's a community. It's a community pizza.
Okay.
But my mom hates it, Greg. Though it's okay.
That one might have been justified.
You did post a photo of Harry with the fedora, and the post said, "Harry, do you want to say it?"
Yeah, that word's offensive. You shouldn't say that word.
Yeah, so it's the word that Harry won't.
You
even
call
say.
me honky cracker, all those things.
That's love though.
I was doing it with love.
Right, but you said the N-word on Facebook.
No, I didn't. There is the difference between a hard R and a soft A.
And that's like the last time Joe... That's the last... You ran Joe. Joe was one of the triumvirate of We Are Libertarians. Mm-hmm. It's like the end of Joe's participation. He just like got in chat one day and goes, "Has Greg lost his mind? You can't say the N-word on Facebook." Jeremiah was verklempt. Harry was borderline offended. And Harry... He LARPs for a living. He barely gets offended. So,
I am sorry, Harry. I would never offend you. You are my favorite person to have on.
Thank you.
He wasn't actually mad.
Nah.
Are you ordering Aaron around?
Yeah, he's even giving me a plate.
That's what we have the intern for.
He clearly overestimated my amount.
Yeah, Aaron, use the intern.
I was just gonna
put the pizza directly on her face.
Thanks.
That's how she likes it.
Where'd you order it from?
Pizza Hut, and it's thin crust. It's okay. It's good.
Mm-hmm. Free pizza.
I loved it. It's very good. Are you enjoying it, Aaron? Don't talk.
Rude.
Could you not eat right into the microphone?
Right, yeah.
Even though
I get a few listeners.
Yeah, Bittner may be listening.
I got so many hate tweets about me eating the Chick-fil-A. So many people were so mad about that.
I loved it so much.
It was so
Bittner is like
Bittner's diabetic. Although congratulations to Bittner. Bittner has been basically cured of his diabetes with the keto diet, and he now has regular blood sugar levels.
Why are we celebrating this?
I know. Bittner's gonna live. He's healthy.
Harry, you do God's work. Like you go and you do yoga with Bittner, and you go have brunch with Bittner.
Best friends with him.
How do you do that?
Yoga is very calming and helps you and it's part of the yoga practice to also to be nice to your neighbor. And
so is it like a stoicism thing? Like you do the one thing like that's brutal, and like that way you can handle any scenario ever
exactly,
again.
Yeah,
perfect. Okay, I was gonna say because like they go to like brunch. Like it's not a short brunch. Like you guys get eggs Benedict and like shit that takes a while to make.
Yeah,
they talk. And how much do you think they gossip about us?
I don't think it at all. I think Harry just wears Bittner down.
I don't know about that.
Yeah.
Does he wear you down?
I don't know about that either. I just know like we both dump on each other things that like no one else wants to care about for the week.
Right.
At BWG Saturday.
Basic white girl Saturday. You're invited.
Oh, that sounds great.
Is she invited though?
If you want to come, come to yoga, then come to brunch.
Okay.
I am shocked you're here because it's a 2-hour drive.
That's commitment, right?
Yeah. Seriously.
Thank you for coming.
So
and you come up a lot.
I didn't read the thing, but I drove all this way. You could have just recorded it, and I could have listened to it on my drive, but you didn't think about that. But that's fine.
Actually, that's not a bad idea.
God, she is Southern Indiana, Aaron. She is every Southern Indiana woman you've ever met.
You are chomping into that microphone as loudly as it sounds like a cow chewing cud. Like.
It's fine.
It's natural.
So,
it's natural.
Let's talk to Ed a little bit. Hand the mic over to Ed there.
Yes.
So, Ed, you're our intern. You're going to be here for a few weeks, and we're going to teach you some things. So let's do an interview process with Ed. Ed, what are you hoping to get out of this internship?
I'm really not sure.
Yeah, okay, me neither.
Yeah.
So we're on the same page with that. Yeah. So, have you ever seen a less professional broadcast than this?
It's my first professional broadcast, so no.
Okay. All right. Good. So, what's your background? What do you do for a living?
Right now, I'm semi-retired.
Okay. All right. Perfect. That's exactly the kind of intern we're looking for. Somebody with a lot of time on their hands and a nice pension, right?
No.
No. All right. So, what did you do before?
I have done a little of everything. I've worked on copiers. I've built computers.
Cool.
Worked warehouse.
Very cool.
You got a radio voice.
Yeah, it's 2 people have told me that.
Really great. Like I would give anything to have a good voice like that.
Yeah, me too.
Really?
He walked up. In the first words he said something, and I was like, "Ed, you have a great radio voice." So, have you ever been told that before?
No, I have not.
Okay.
Because like Harry has one.
Yeah.
Like he's got the best pipes ever, and so it's you hear it and like you just are tailor made.
She is shoving food in her mouth with her hands like a real crack baby. I mean, she is just going to town over there like my toddler niece. So like if you could do anything at this internship, what would you like to learn? Or are you just doing this because you just want to come hang out with us?
A little both.
All right.
Yeah.
Are you thinking about doing a podcast?
I had considered it.
Okay. So what do you want to learn?
Basically, how to convey ideas.
Okay.
I just, I ran for school board, and I just could not get my ideas out in a way that I could get people to get behind them.
Sure. Okay.
What were some of your ideas when you ran?
Well, the school board I was running for, they had for at least 10 years, the board was just a rubber stamp and just voted with the administration time after time.
Right.
And I was just looking for
to sort of put up some resistance.
Right.
So they're
at least present another idea or another view.
Yeah. So is that something you're thinking about pursuing again?
Yes. In another 2 years.
In another 2 years?
Yeah.
Would you identify as a libertarian?
It in Indiana, they're non-political, but
that's cool. I'm sorry. Yeah, I forgot about that. But yeah,
but in general, are you a libertarian?
Oh yes.
Okay. Now your last name is Brehob.
Yes.
And we have a familial connection a little bit.
Yes.
Your family runs a large plant distributor here in town. Mine, Damon's Lawn and Garden and Damon Garden Company, and they buy plants from Brehob. So like I've always seen Ed Brehob, and I'm like, are you the plant people? So slight connection there. So.
Yes.
It's very green. He's
family
very
money.
green.
Family money.
Yep. So, well, very good. We're excited that you and listen. If you are out there listening and you want to intern, not just locally, but I would love to. If you're a college student, start get in contact with me. I'd love to start doing some social media stuff with your campus specifically. I'll just straight up say it. So. Barstool Sports does a great thing where they take the Barstool brand and they apply it to colleges. And I would love to do that, where if you're at a college, then you have a We Are Libertarians college, Instagram, Snapchat, Facebook, whatever, Twitter, if anybody's on Twitter. And that way you can connect with other libertarians on campus and post your own memes and have fun, and it's a good way for you to get involved and to help promote us. So get in touch with me, send me a Facebook message or... editor at wearelibertarians.com and get in touch. And if you're here in the Indianapolis area and you want to be an intern for us, you can't get college credit, and I can't pay you, but I promise that you will get some sort of education. I will teach you all that I know and then some, because I will make up the rest. So we're gonna teach Ed how to communicate big ideas simply.
And what school district is it?
It was Perry Township.
Okay.
So.
I feel like we could help them put together. We could help you make Perry Township great again.
Absolutely. So
we could find some. We could. Dig, I am personally excel at digging up dirt.
Absolutely.
And so if you give me the names of the current school board members, I guarantee you
he's going
to
John Roberts the shit out of that.
It's verified.
Yep.
Nobody digs up dirt like I do.
No.
And if there isn't there, I will make it up.
Coming after you, Tay-Tay.
Yep.
All right, so let's start wrapping up.
Yeah.
So this is the 30-minute warning that we're heading out.
Yes, for all of you that so love to complain, Luke Stevenson specifically.
Yeah, who I invited to be on the podcast.
Yeah, I want him to. We talked about it, and I'd love to have him on.
So
great guy. Youngest elected Republican in Hendricks County.
The biggest tax cutter in Hendricks County has history now.
No. Well, yeah, he is. Yeah, but Luke supplanted Rob as the youngest.
Who? I'm just going to say it. He's dead to me.
Petty as fuck.
He did not come to We Are Libertarians Live. He did not apologize to me.
Save the date, though.
Did you get a save the date?
I did.
Did you get invited to Rob's wedding?
I think I did. I haven't checked the mailbox yet.
Greg, have you been invited to the wedding?
Mm-hmm.
It's probably soaked in rain right next to my old phone book that's laying next to my mailbox.
Harry, did you get invited to Rob's wedding? No. Oh, so he doesn't want black people at his wedding.
No, it's whites only.
Right. He doesn't want black people at his wedding. We'll put that on the record.
I think Harry's the biggest fan of Rob.
No, I haven't been a huge fan of Rob since when I had another podcast and we were beefing actually a little bit because, I felt like our podcast was better than his when it was on Indiana Talks together.
Well, absolutely, yeah.
I've never been invited on Indiana Talks.
You're really?
Yeah, it's like the Libertarian Party of Indiana. I don't get invited to anything.
Here's the little thing about Indiana Talks that was all my idea, and then it got... Never mind.
Yeah. Repurposed.
I love Pepper Snyder, though. I asked her if she wanted to come on.
She's the best.
So
I love her. I hope she comes on.
Yeah, so Rob, I'm disappointed Rob didn't come and apologize to the audience at We're Libertarians Live. And, to not be invited to the wedding, I don't have to buy a present, so really it's all good.
I do have a +1.
Yes. I'm going to wear a wig.
Oh my.
Hello!
You sound like Mrs. Doubtfire.
Hello, Rob. My name is Stephanie.
What are you doing over there?
What's your problem?
I told him, I tried to signal to him not to mess with my thing, and he did, and now it's broken.
Oh.
I had MacGyvered it.
Has anybody ever come on...
I'm sorry, I can't hear you now because Aaron messed my...
No one has ever caused more problems in the history behind the scenes than Aaron has tonight.
I love
you're
him.
like,
Mike, I gotta get attention somehow.
I know. It's like he's driving me crazy.
I love him.
This is the greatest retaliation for Bittner that you could possibly come up with.
This is our brother.
Because behind this, like, I'm so ADD, so like distractions throw me off. And he's been screaming in the background. He's ordering pizza. He's messing up her headphones.
He brought you pizza.
He brought me pizza, yeah, but I'm on a diet.
Oh, that's right.
Crust.
Bittner has literally never brought me anything, and nor would I want him to, including his presence on a podcast.
He tried to get you to buy a T-shirt of his face. He didn't even give you one.
Yeah.
Bittner bought me onion rings.
Once?
Yeah.
You know, he told me that he actually took advantage of you the first time you went to yoga and brought you and took the discount.
Yep, that's what he thinks. He was trying to. That's why I shut up first.
That's right. You beat him there.
Yeah,
that's right. That made me so happy.
Yeah.
All right, so
the same plan.
Final thoughts for the episode, Harry.
Yeah, we'll go around the room like that.
Oh yeah. And I feel like awkward because the mic is like behind me still. But my final thoughts is like I'm in two minds with the whole Obamacare thing. I actually do kind of want it to go full bore so everyone can actually feel the pain of this awful, awful government program. But at the same time, only they'll blame someone else for its problems and not the bill itself. And I'm at the same mind of with Greg of you may want something, but go after what you can get on the table. Because as an anarchist, I'm upset that there's a bill, period. I'm upset there's a president. So, there's nothing they can do to make me happy unless they like turn off the lights and everyone goes home.
Right.
So, and when it comes to a lot of people like keep looking at the WikiLeaks dumps of like all the CIA hacking stuff like that. With it is kind of hard for people like me who like have seen this stuff, who's tried to care and try to get people to care. And the only person I can really get to like really give me like a PGP like encryption, like sending email back and forth, do it correctly, and using Signal is the only person I've got is my wife because I just screeched at her until she did it correctly.
Right.
Yeah. I still get people like, I try to use it with correctly in my daily life, like in work. I'm sending just passcodes and just stuff through work, and I watch them use the encryption poorly and just like send it right. Plain text, and it's like, God dang it, what's the point anymore?
Yeah, there's no point in encryption at this point because they're getting it off the phones before it's even encrypted, right?
Yeah, but they have to implant that malware on the device before that does happen. Granted, can they buy something in transit to your house? Yes, they can, but that's also very expensive because that does take man hours of having someone actually doing that. But if you are a target of the CIA, they're going to spend that capital to after that. But if you are a target and you're doing something to target the CIA, one, you're not probably going to use a smartphone, and if you are, you're going to probably buy that smartphone in cash. There's a way to get past a lot of this stuff, and a lot of it's going to involve in cash, and it takes time. Just like a lot of the systems I have that make sure if I want to be on the internet anonymously, that stuff I've built up over months of time of building stuff up, and I cycle it out and get rid of it after I've used it so many times.
Right.
Yeah. Lucky I've got a job that's easy to get rid of that stuff. So.
All right. So Ed, final thoughts for the intern Ed. The final thoughts for the episode.
Well, I kind of agree with Greg as far as trying to get something. You kind of wish that you could go back because at the very least, people have been getting better and better health care because the employers are giving it as benefits and nobody's paying taxes on it. So they want a better plan. In effect, they're getting a higher pay, and the employer gets to deduct it from their taxes. So the feds are subsidizing part of it. The person is getting free health care and is not paying as income, which it really is, which just spirals it up. They get better and better health care plans, and that only causes the health care cost to rise.
All right.
But,
go ahead.
Yeah. What do you do at this point? Now, it's right, like you said, it's just a huge mess.
It is. It's devastating.
Yeah.
So if people want to follow you, if you want people to connect with you, how would they do that? The answer is I don't want them to connect with me is okay as well, by the way.
Yeah, no, that's fine. It's I'm Ed Brehob on Twitter.
All right.
That's probably the easiest.
BREHOB.
And thank you for going through this painful experience of being our intern with two guys that fake it more than they actually know what they're doing.
I think you'll get a kick. We'll take you next week to we're doing a podcast with some marketing guys next week.
Yeah.
I think you'll get a kick out of that. I think that'll be
that'll be our most offensive podcast, I have a feeling, in a very long time.
Maybe.
Okay.
Hannah, you've been a pleasure.
I know.
Thank you for driving so far to come here.
So far.
I think you're probably the farthest that any host or guest has ever driven to come on the podcast.
Isn't that great?
Amir.
Well, he doesn't count. He's a terrorist.
Yeah. It's that diesel.
Yeah.
The diesel engine.
You got a diesel engine and a Chevy Cobalt.
No, Cruise.
Chevy Cruise is the Cobalt.
Well, you're not wrong.
Right.
No, it's actually a Cruise.
She has a Mini Cooper.
Cavalier.
Right.
I mean,
the
that's
Chevy
all the
Cobalt.
same thing. It's just like they learned how to contour or something.
If anybody has a 1997 Chevy Cavalier, please hit me up because I'm in need of a car.
Yeah.
Tanner has a friend that's got an 88 Cavalier that runs and is baby blue and Gary Johnson stickers all over it.
How much?
It's his ride, and Jeremiah claims it's just in great condition.
I bet one of your neighbors will sell you their Lincoln Town cars. There's at least 6 on my way in. I saw them.
Fair point.
We have a very classy neighborhood here.
I see that.
So, final thoughts for the episode, Hannah.
Yeah, it was a good time. I'm sorry I didn't study my notes. I was a little behind the curve, but
Just don't do that on your finals.
yeah, no.
Good luck with finals.
Online classes.
A lot of free time that you've found to study. Have you been studying?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I found a lot of really good memes, and
Really? Haven't seen you share 'em.
You haven't sent you. She was. We were talking. We were like best friends for like 2 months, and then all of a sudden she just stopped talking to me.
No, you
stopped talking to me, and
I just kept getting the sass. The sass.
No, that's not
I don't know
true.
what happens at work, but he kept bringing it home, and I just couldn't.
Well, maybe if you. Never mind.
No.
A real friend would love me through it.
And if your dad listens, John, your daughter's great, and so we hope we haven't said anything offensive. And,
no, you're fine.
All right.
Smartest woman I've ever met.
There you go.
Wow.
But, woman.
Yeah.
I didn't say it.
Right.
No, but thank you for making the drive and coming on and ruining last year.
I just,
Yeah, you're welcome.
Much appreciated.
No, I'm actually going to ruin this year too, remember? Because we have a trip planned.
Oh, I forgot about that. Yeah.
We have a trip planned.
That's going to be bad.
And I'm also going to ruin his 2017.
Yep.
Ruin Greg's year 2017. #.
Well, it's not hard.
Yeah, absolutely not.
No.
You're like a redheaded Dementor. Just come in and suck the life out of people.
Pretty much.
Yep.
And I
Pretty
hope
much.
that we can get back to us again.
Right. Well, I don't know. We'll see. You left me on red all day.
Okay. See, this is you just stop talking to me, and then I get sass. I give it back. That's what I do. I treat people the way they treat me. Right, Greg?
Do unto others as you would have done to you.
Have I ever been mean to you, Greg?
Never.
Have I ever been shitty?
You've been very bitter things, and that's what tonight is about.
Right.
Tonight's about retribution.
I just know I got here and there was no Busch Light, and then Greg showed up and there was Busch Light.
I don't know beer. I don't do beer.
You know me. If you know me, you know
I
beer.
know. Well, that's why I got you the foam roller, so you can stretch out. So I know
It's
you
true.
like to be nimble.
It's going down smooth.
You gotta get the flexibility going when
Yeah.
you're gonna get loose.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing.
What?
No.
I accidentally already sexually harassed the intern. By the way, what was the joke that I made that I was like, "Hey, by the way, that was a joke." God, what was it? Let me go back and look.
Put on this blue dress and tell me I'm pretty.
No, it wasn't that. But I was like, I think I just sexually harassed our first intern, and he's a guy.
Were you offended?
No, I'm not sure what we're talking about.
Yeah, hold
Good.
on. Let me look here.
Don't want to sue the Empire.
I said, "Hey, I'm going to make you do my laundry, And if you do a good job at it, I'll give you some Miranda nudes. Clits included. And I was left on red. I didn't get a response, and I was like, hey, maybe I better clean that up. Maybe I better not sexually harass her.
Give it a little more time. Let him acclimate to her sense of humor.
Right. So very good. Greg, final thoughts for the episode. Aaron, is there anything you'd like to say? Anything you'd like to apologize for?
I'm not apologizing.
How about for ruining this podcast?
You invite me over here, and then you don't give me a microphone after I bought you pizza. This is ridiculous.
I didn't invite you to shit, and I didn't even know you ordered pizza.
Oh, yeah. Okay. All right.
So much drama in my life, Greg. I can't get a peace. I can't get a moment of peace.
You know, the company you keep.
I know it's not me.
They say that you're a summary, or you are a.
You're made up of the 5 people you're surrounded.
Yeah. So.
Right.
How you feeling?
Sassy and redheaded, and slightly buzzed. A little gay-faced with a Nazi haircut. I mean, honestly, he has a pretty face. I can't help it. No.
Look at that sultry look he's giving you right now.
But also very Bucktown.
Very Bucktown.
Very Bucktown.
Very Bucktown.
Yeah.
We classed it up tonight. Brought our A game. We brought Lord of Bucktown and Bucktown Trap Queen.
Wow.
Metamore.
Mm-hmm.
Metamore.
I just wish I could sit all the listeners down, one by one, individually, and explain to them how hard my life is.
Oh
and
my
how
gosh.
how much harder it is made by these people.
Do you remember the Jeff Vibert Christmas special? And he's sitting there getting progressively more wasted while we're doing it. And all of a sudden, it starts out as he wants to thank everybody for helping him build the Jeff Vibert empire, and then and then it immediately flips over to, I built this on my own, brick by brick. I feel like you're gonna have that kind of moment here momentarily.
No. I know. What is going on between these two? What are you whispering?
What?
I'm
eating. Do you think that whispers are not heard in Dear Leader's Empire, Aaron?
You literally were.
You would hear them if I had a microphone.
Well played. Well played. No, I'm just teasing. I love all my friends. Hanna is delightful. She's been a great addition to the We Are Libertarians universe. She's very funny and one of the few women that can hang. Mm-hmm. There's only been a couple times where she's been like, that was hurtful.
When?
Delete this.
Okay. Had I known.
You got flagged as an Instagram spammer when I posted that because you tried.
I thought I was being creative.
And you got flagged as a spammer.
Yeah, no.
Greg posted a photo of Hanna that was
apparently she didn't care for it.
Incredibly unflattering.
And you go, Greg, you have to remember I'm a 22-year-old girl.
I did not say that.
You did in chat because you said you deleted it. And then you go, you have to remember I'm a 22-year-old girl and I still care about how I look, and that is not a pretty picture.
Oh, did you think I was being serious?
You were being serious.
No, I mean, I was
all
joking.
those flavors, and you chose salty.
Picture. It's probably still in there.
You did post it to her wall 20 times one day, and she deleted all 20.
No, that was just one day.
You started the meme war.
Did I?
And Greg will finish it.
No, I didn't.
I did. I didn't do anything. You posted on my wall. You posted on my wall.
That was post.
No.
Delete this, Chris.
But the whole like thing of getting 30 million screenshots, you started it.
Oh, I unintentionally.
But so then I posted delete this because it was right, the Logan Clark thing, the dueling knives, hilarious. Kid getting shot at school, hilarious. But then you made a list of things that were Nazis and then added my name to the bottom and posted that publicly and tagged me in it.
Which original, right?
Yeah, I was impressed because I hadn't seen that meme yet.
Oh, that's good. Yeah.
So, yeah, and then I made the collage of your faces.
Yeah, my basic.
That Randy really appreciated.
Yeah, she thought that was pretty funny.
Mm-hmm.
Who's Randy?
That's my friend who I ride horses with. She's part of the Tard Train. She has the hunting show. That she loves Greg. Every time Greg posts memes of me, she likes them.
Yeah.
And she sent Greg a friend request.
Ooh.
And then Greg bragged about it in the group chat. which triggered Tad, who, by the way, I got an Instagram request, so I don't know, can we make a vote?
Is Tad sliding in DMs yet?
He's
my
trying
Instagram.
to.
So if you want to follow me on Instagram, it's at Hanna_Indiana, formerly Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle. But
No, and you changed
Why
it?
would you change it?
That is amazing.
I mean, I go back, but I was Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle like all through high school, but then when I turned 20, I decided to just I'm not a teenager anymore.
No, but
I just post Hitler memes.
I made a celebratory post about like, okay, I'm graduating from the Ginger Turtle. It goes back to high school. I hit a turtle and I got like a lot of flack for hitting this turtle in my Mini Cooper, and I used to wear a turtle backpack, and it was a long thing. Anyway,
we're gonna explore this more deeply, aren't we?
But the thing is,
so you hit all animals with that Mini Cooper, don't you? Raccoon, turtles, geese.
If you I mean,
back to the Ginger Turtle.
My Instagram's private.
He's leaving.
So you have to That's terrible.
Don't do it. Yeah.
Okay. My Instagram's private. So if
are you going to accept or decline Tad?
Can we make a group?
Should she raise your hand if she should add Tad?
Listen. Tad is
there are no hands up right now.
A national treasure. I think you should add Tad.
Raise your hand.
I'm in for Tad.
Who else is in for Tad?
I'm his range hand. Ride or die.
Okay.
Not even his cousin.
I don't know. If Tad wants in.
I know some things about Tad.
After being in his house.
About where some bodies are.
Yeah, I just fear for
okay.
Yeah, honestly, you want to date Tad, you go over to Tad's house. You won't date Tad anymore. There's dead people in the house.
Should we take a field trip?
Yes.
To the ranch. We're gonna do a live show from the ranch.
We're going to do a Cribs Tad Western.
We are.
Am I going?
Sure, you can be involved.
Okay.
Yeah.
Where's the last place?
You've been inviting yourself a lot.
Under the ice skating rink.
No. Just there. I just want to know, should he be allowed into the Instagram sphere?
I'd say yes. I think Tad's safe.
So we've got two hands.
It's in person that's going to be a problem.
I've met Tad in person.
Privately.
Yeah. When you two go on a date.
For instance, were you out at Kilroy's real late in the summer one night and you're trying to walk home barefoot without shoes?
And then a wild Tad appears, and it's
There's probably a pretty high likelihood that that's going to be your last public appearance.
Oh, that's... Yikes.
She's not blonde, though.
I carry a gun.
Those 55-gallon drums are real
55-gallon drums. They're not cozy. Although you are double-jointed. You could fit in one.
I could... Oh.
Yeah. Muriatic acid, though, that stings.
All right, let's end
We'll wrap this up. So
Okay.
are you...
Greg, final thoughts?
Are we adding Tad?
Are you done?
Add Tad.
Add him.
Okay.
Add him.
Tad's getting added.
That's a new add Tad.
Add Tad. Add Tad effing Western.
17 million people can't be wrong.
Exactly. Tad F.
He actually has 260 followers.
Want to check that in Nazi Germany?
See, here's the thing. Instagram only goes up to 200 million, and so it rolls back over. So it's 200 million
It's the way my bank
users. Yeah. So it's Tad FN Western. If you want to add him, Greg. Final thoughts for the episode?
No, thank you all for coming. Shocked we would have an intern.
I know. I was shocked.
I'm so would rethink life decisions if I were you. But no, look forward to helping out any way we can since you're helping us out. Harry, thank you for coming because I know I asked you late. Hannah, I didn't know you were coming. Thank you for not reading the notes, being prepared, or adding anything whatsoever.
You're welcome.
Aaron, thank you for storming it and totally helping me get Spangle back.
Little do you guys know, I'm an expert on healthcare, and you just missed out. Some knowledge. Dropping knowledge. Wasn't able to, though.
We were out. No, but thank you for coming all the way from Metamora. You can keep the rest of the Busch Light.
Thank you.
And I don't know. I think we salvaged this thing.
Yeah, I think there's a lot here. I listened to the first episode of Foreign and Domestic, which is the podcast with Maya and the brothers Peffers. And it is everything that you would think and more that you'd expect out of a podcast from Denver, where everyone on the show is very high. And let's just listen to this little bit of the podcast.
You know what? I'd rather be a stoner, and whatever that implies, than ever be anything associated with alcohol. I mean, I'm going to end up railing against alcohol a lot. Just fair warning, because alcohol is vile, evil, nasty stuff. I know I used to manufacture it myself.
It was the driving force of society for a long time.
Yeah, and look where that got us.
It got us agriculture.
Look where that got us.
I mean, it ended up getting us Zelda and stuff.
He never fails to deliver
ever.
I swear to God, the guy is. He's just got away with. He's got away with words legitimately.
That was Maya, and then Peppers kind of chimed in. And then Chris Peppers said, brought us agriculture, which is a fair point. And then he goes, it brought us Zelda and stuff. And they're also autistic that they all none of them laugh at that, but I was in my apartment howling.
That's comedy gold.
It is.
Chris Peppers is comedy gold.
He doesn't, and he's not even trying. It was just so they're just. I mean, he got Zeldas and stuff.
He got fired from Meyer on the midnight shift because he couldn't show up on time.
I know. He was 5 minutes late 3 times and they fired him.
Yeah, and he's like, I don't know, man. I don't know. And then Daniel quit Taco Bell because he was sick of the way they were treating him.
And then there's Maya, who she can't hold a job. She
can't pass a background check.
She was an air conditioning expert and was working for an air conditioning company and started ranting about libertarianism one day at somebody's apartment, and they fired her.
The globalists.
It's amazing. It is Maya just being Maya and talking, and then Peppers just talking, and the two of them have differing opinions all the time, and it's really thoughtful. And then Chris Peppers just chimes in and goes, I don't know, got a Zelda and stuff. So
it's very meta.
It's very funny. So I'm looking forward to putting that out here in the next couple weeks, next week or two. But you'll have to look for that. It'll be the Foreign and Domestic Podcast. I'll let you know when that's out. And so thank you to everybody who donated recently to We Are Libertarians, because it's your donations that I was able to buy some extra equipment, send it out to them, and you guys are making that kind of stuff happen for us. That's what the donations go towards. And I just want to thank everybody who donates, because I don't do a great job yet of thanking everybody that gives us money, and I'm really bad about that, and I apologize. I feel bad about that every single day, but I just want to thank the people that do donate to us. Thank you to Jason Doolittle, who went above and beyond in donating and really, really helped me out. There are a lot of great people who are really, really putting a lot into helping build our dream in terms of financial resources and being interns. So we appreciate each and every listener. We appreciate each and every person that shares. Now he's doing dishes. You can hear the dishes on the air. I am outraged.
He's doing your dishes.
I know. In the middle of a podcast.
To be fair, I think he's doing my dish.
Right.
Whoa. Talk about gender reversal.
Right. I was doing my dishes when she walked in, and she immediately walked over and started doing the dishes.
Completely fluid.
Hand me that plate.
The fluidity in this room.
Thank you. But yeah, just wanted to thank everybody who donates and who gives to us and to our new advertisers. You guys are all so great to us, and we appreciate you helping build our dream. And we can't wait to do even more for you, and we will. I promise you. So thank you for listening to this episode of We Are Libertarians. For Hannah, for Harry, for Intern Ed, for Mittens, for Muffins, and for Greg, we say, as always, we promise
to do better next time.
Thank you for listening to the We Are Libertarians Network. Get our other shows at WeareLibertarians.com.